And then you just remember, I had like shit writ up the whole side of my MX-5 in like crayon, and I just remember driving like the whole way down the motorway and pulling over somewhere and getting some wet grass, just rubbing it off the side of a car, like so that the cops wouldn't know that it was me.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to another ILB Drivers Club Podcast. Today we are back in the office, staying some sort of distance. I'm at least 2 meters from you.
You're
Definitely,
from me. It's
definitely
all
at
right,
least 2 meters. James and I have been working a bit in the office anyway, so we decided we'll bring down someone that has been highly requested for the podcast. I think highly requested for the 500 people that probably listen to this. You know,
You're at least once.
There was at least 6 people requesting.
there was, which makes you highly requested, which is
That's not bad. I feel good about that.
Pretty
Mate.
good,
That's nice. Feels nice to be wanted.
so. It is, of course, Lord Tom Sawyer
Kennedy Sawyer.
Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy Sawyer. Well, do you want to do the Kennedy Sawyer why now, or we'll do that later?
What about the Lord? Are we not going to get into that?
We'll break the whole name down, shall we? Okay.
We'll start.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get ready to start.
Okay, right. Well, so the Lordship. We were in. Was it Ultimate Dubs?
It was absolutely Ultimate Dubs.
Ultimate Dubs, and me and you, James, were very, very drunk, and we're speaking to Rob Kelly, and he was like, "I have a Lordship," and we were like, "What? What is this? How?" And he was just like, "Yeah, you do it online and stuff." And so we were like, "Right, we need to do this." So we bought them really, really drunk, and I bought the premium edition, and James bought the standard edition, and then they arrived, and they were exactly the same. So I felt a wee bit cheated, but it was.
But
For
for people listening at home, what that basically means is that your official title is Lord.
Yeah, so
not Mr.
No, it's not Mr. anymore. So if I'm like applying for things, I can put in a Lord, and it's on my driver's license and
Yeah,
stuff.
so you got your driver license, and do you have to send off documentation to prove it?
You have to send the certificate of your Lordship off, and I had to send it and told them not to crease it because, it's on that nice hard paper.
We're both actually own a small plot of land in the Lake District.
So
That's
are
right.
you technically Lord as well?
Yes, I am a Lord, but I don't flaunt it like others.
Is it on your driving license?
No, I renewed my driving license, and then it came to it, and I was just like, I don't want Lord on my driver's license, so I didn't.
It's good though if you get like pulled over by the police or you have to give it in for anything, because like it was just a place around the corner, the cash and carry I was applying for with my driver's license, and they were like, the girl was like, this fella's a Lord. This fella's a Lord. And I was just standing there just like
With your mullet and massive hoops
just
in
like-
your ears?
yeah, complete Lordship. But then if you get pulled by the police, it's good because they sort of look at you in whatever car I'm driving, and they're like, nah. But no, it's worth it. Like,
What do you mean? You drive very, reputable vehicles.
respectable vehicles, would you say?
So we should actually mention how we know you and how
Yeah.
you're a part of the ILB brand. Of course, you've been a part of the ILB brand for quite a while, just simply by us knowing you. And you help out on basically every car show here, at least in Northern Ireland. You come quite a few in
England,
England,
other
Scotland,
countries.
and wherever.
Yeah.
And you were going to join us for Worthy this year, which obviously we should have been in right now, fun enough, actually. So this is technically the Worthy episode, which isn't actually the Worthy episode because we're meant to be there. But you're also known as Tenty, the tent guy.
Yes, Tenty. It was that was made by, was it Max Wood made it? Wasn't
Yeah.
it? He made the
A
gift,
full gift.
and he made 2 because then I did like a second Tenty the next year, edition.
Yeah, edition.
That was
that's the big one where you always used to come to. Yeah, right now.
Edition, yeah, it was good. Yeah, no, like I just remember it was like years ago. The first show, I think UCS Lauren, I had my Polo, and you guys were there, and Robbie took photos of my car, and then just sort of started chatting to you from that. And then I've like notes actually here on how we met. It's quite cute.
Belfast car scene. I remember the first time that I think
Oh,
you
yeah.
sat in my car. That's the first
Oh, the
memory I have
Clio.
of you.
Yeah, you brought the Clio, and you're like, here, sit in these seats, and I was
Yeah.
just like, why? And then I completely understand now because they were the comfiest seats I've ever sat in.
UCS, like the one in Lauren.
Yeah, UCS Lauren. It was the one where it had like the big truck at the side of it, and your guy did all the country and western singing. It was hilarious, and then he cried at the end of it every show. And it was a bit like everyone's just like, that's,
What year was that? Like, was that the year when ILB started, or was it like after, a couple of years after?
I don't know. That must have been
couple of years after,
But-
like.
might have been a few years after. Yeah.
Do you remember there used to be like a competition between like Dubshed and UCS?
Yeah, 'cause
the
they had
first
the
few years,
same-
like, where are you
everyone's
gonna
like,
go?
go.
And everyone was like UCS,
And then they changed it, and everyone was like, oh, okay. that works. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Both of them refused to almost change their
Yeah. Well, UCS is none anymore because Dubshed obviously were like, no, we'll take it all. But no, UCS was a good show. But yeah, I met you there, and then just different things. You then did like when I got my car painted purple, the Polo. You did a photo shoot out in Newcastle. That
Yes,
was pretty cool.
that's
And we
right.
went on the Dodgems and stuff.
So if my iPad was working, I could actually show an image of that. But
Maybe.
I'm sure if you're watching the video podcast, there's one on the screen right now. Big C's put in, but
Yeah.
basically it's a wide arched. Which Polo was it? A
It was a 6N2.
6N2.
So like,
And then when I say wide arched, I mean like it was.
yeah, it was. I got pulled by the police for having like wide wheels, and this was before I knew like about camber and stuff, and like actually modifying stuff. And I was like, I'll just put arches on it because that's a good idea. And spent all this money fitting arches on it, and then posted it. I put it on Club Polo at the time, and they were like, "How do you take your rear bumper off?" And I was just like, "Oh, I don't think you can now." So yeah. So then I decided to paint it, or like get them smooth and paint it purple, and then you did a photo shoot of it, which was pretty neat. Like,
There's a funny video as well about it being painted purple. Pete, that felt like a tongue twister there. Pete, who was on the podcast, who's also sitting over there, he painted it purple for you for like a bet or like for nothing, or what was it? What was the reason?
yeah, it was like there was a car showworks. Well, it still kind of is going, but it was sort of bigger back then. But I don't really know how well, we did it for like them for like a feature, but it was in like a group chat. I'd always said I wanted to paint it, and Pete was like, "Oh yeah, I'll paint it if I have like a place to do it." And then another guy, Bob, was like, "Well, you can do it in my unit." And then Pete just kind of talked himself into that. So he's regretted that ever since because he got sucked into it, and forever has then been sucked into painting my cars.
He's also been known as the guy who painted your car purple.
Yeah.
I'll probably go down with him.
He also probably significantly shortened his lifespan because there was no extraction in that like unit. It was tiny, and yeah, it was pretty rubby. But I mean, paint was great, and I loved it.
I remember the scumbag sticker he had on it. That was the one thing that always kind of stuck. Remember, did the shoot down in
Yeah.
Newcastle? It was like scumbag, and I
Yeah.
was after his researching like words to put like to make into stickers, like almost like to be like, we need to make a sticker like this.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. My
But
mum didn't enjoy that. Like,
didn't.
she liked it being reversed into the driveway, so it didn't poke out into the street. She was like, "Let's not advertise that." And I was like, "Okay, sorry."
You engine swapped it in the driveway, didn't you? Not even driveway.
Yeah,
Like the front of your house.
I basically did everything in my driveway in that car. I engine swapped it with one of my friends. Pulled it out completely, put a GTI in it.
That sounded like you swapped it with your friend's engine.
I thought I was like,
Yeah, I'll take your GTI and you can take mine.
You can take this shitty 1.4. Yeah, the reason I actually swapped it from the 1.4 was it was in Volkswagen getting something checked, and they did like a wee sort of diagnostic check on it. It said it was 59 brake horsepower, and I was just like, ooh. that is hilarious. So yeah, after that I was like straight on, bought a GTI swap for it and stuff, and then put the interior in it as well in my driveway. Ended up cutting the inside of the car open with like all the angle grinders and stuff. And then I was actually talking to Peter about it the other day. It was like, I just remember driving in the sun the first time I fitted the seats and was like, what is this all on the inside of my windscreen? I didn't realize it was all like the metal, like from angle grinding it. And I was like, all right, yeah. So that was a good car. It was one of the better ones. And then,
did you have that car for the longest? I think out of all your cars,
yeah, I think I had it like 6 years maybe.
because you right now have just a habit of getting rid of cars and then getting them back and then getting rid of them. And
Yeah, I sort of like to, just like to stay with what I know. Like,
but then you like did like go, no, I don't want this, and then you're like, no, actually,
no, I actually
need
do want
that
to
back.
keep it. Like, yeah, I need that back. Need to buy that back. So yeah, did that with like a few B5s there.
And the Lexus as well. Did you not get rid of one Lexus? You're like, nah, I need another one.
Oh yeah, no, I sold my gold LS and then bought a few things. Bought a Laurel, C33 Laurel, and then it was like too much work, so I sold it on, and then bought a 7 Series and didn't like it, and then bought another LS, and now
So
happy with it.
what do you got right now? What cars you got right now?
Currently, I have the LS, and I've fitted all the coilovers and stuff to it, and it's got serial 9 arms and load of camber on it at the minute, and it's great, but it's not exactly very usable because it's just completely static. And
Yeah, you drove it here today, and you literally just scraped the whole way in.
yeah,
It's pretty cool though.
it's good fun. Like I say, I wanted to take it to players this year, but obviously that's not gonna happen now.
It's like one of those cars though that like feels like it can just drive static. Like, you know, It's just like big wheels on it, and it's just so flat or something at the bottom that it can just drive static. Is there anything that kind of stops you? Do you hit anything like subframe or?
Well, the engine and the gearbox all raised on it, but the worst bit would be probably the downpipes and the exhaust they catch. But you just drive it until they're flat, and then that's it.
That's it.
That's
Fixed.
it. Good to go. Like good to go. Yeah. But yeah, I've got it, and then I bought of a new B5 because the one I had, the original one, which I bought off Lipo, one of our friends, it met a sad end in January. It was on my way to work Monday morning, perfect time to do it, 9 o'clock. Some boy pulled into the side of me and like hit the car, and then I spun out and then didn't realise, but I hit another woman in front of me, and then like basically catapulted her off the road, and then stopped in the middle of the road. And I was like, this is like 9 o'clock Monday morning, just wanted to go to work, and all this had happened. I was like, what is going on? Got out of the car, and like the back wheel had come off, and I was just like, ah, fuck. I was like, yeah, I don't think this is fixable now. Like, it took the brake disc and the like hub clean off. It was just like the spigot axle was just still there, and I was just looking at it like, yeah, there's so much missing here now. This is not right. Yeah, then found that wheel had come off my car, hit a parked Volvo Jeep, taken the side out of it, and then landed behind a lamppost. So like it was pretty intense. And then I sold those wheels to Big C.
Yeah.
So how did? Because accident was one of the big things we wanted to talk to you about. Because like you love B5s.
Yeah.
You like really need to get across how much you love this B5.
It was also your daily car, which was most definitely nicer than most of your other cars that you don't daily.
That was what everyone sort of says. They say I put too much money into the daily and got really annoyed, like because Pete painted it a couple of times and then it would get stone chips.
He wouldn't do that, would he?
No, he does. He loves whenever I sort of text him, we're like, Pete, the arches in this are fucked again because I've been running it too low. So can you fix it? And he's like, no. But then he does because he's a good lad.
So yeah, you love B5s, and so explain how this accident happened. The guy came out.
So yeah, like I was in the inside lane and he was in the outside lane, and I was just like driving to work, and I think he was trying to avoid a car or something that had stopped, and he just pulled into the side of me, and I just sort of saw him coming, and I was just like, oh fuck. So I can't even remember whether I accelerated or braked, but like hit the back right of the car and just spun me, and then the passenger rear hit the other woman, and like she ended up, her car was like backwards into this road sign, and I was like, got out of the car and was like, well, how is all this happening? Like, and then like your man's car that he hit me, like his bottom arm broke and that was it. But
what was he driving?
He was driving a Passat. I was just like, well, they're pretty much the same car, like, but why is his not
the lesser?
Yeah, the poor man's B5. But yeah, so then like got out and was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then realized the wheel and all was off, and like there was that other car, and then that's the thing as well where it happened. It's like a really busy road in Belfast, and like Boucher Road, yeah, and like it's renowned for car accidents and like traffic jams. And I was just like, I am that dickhead at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning that is in a car crash, like police and all. And I was just sitting there like, fuck. But yeah,
the accident was like pretty like substantial, as in like you got injured as well, and like,
it was
obviously
like
the car was obviously rode off.
Yeah, I was off work for like 6 weeks.
And I think you were pretty torn up about it as well. Like
yeah, like I went up to Pete's and like had a wee cry and looked at it. I was just like, oh my god, this is devastating. Like, cause yeah, I love that car because what it was, I owned one before that I also bought off Lipo as a daily.
Do you always buy your cars off Lipo?
Yeah,
Lipo's one of our friends, by the way.
Lipo's Lemons, yeah. Phil Lipo. He sort of just he buys like nice cars, and then he ends up just selling them, and sort of majority of the time I end up buying them off him. But he sold me the first one, and I loved it, and we took it the edition that year as well. That was
like
it.
I sprayed a bottle of champagne across the bonnet of it.
Yeah, James Champagne shard it while I was like holding it on the limiter. I was just like real bad diesel limiter, just like and like yeah, it was good. That was a hilarious trip, that trip, because that was the one I slept in, and I was meant to pick
That's right.
Clark and Nicky up from his house, but they ended up driving to mine and like kicking my door down till my mum like opened the doors. It's like 5 a.m. or something.
Can you imagine if edition happened right now? Like, what would happen in the car scene? Nobody's had a car show all like the start of summer. It would. I reckon the whole place would be on fire.
That's what I was going to say. It would just be on fire. It'd be absolute mayhem. Like, we couldn't contain it. But that was late. So then Nicky and Clark and we drove down, and that was one of the ones that I think it was like Robbie and Sean fought. We're like fighting, and then halfway through in that like vlog, I like drive behind them, and it's just the weirdest video ever.
Yeah.
But it was good. So then sold it and bought this other one off Lipo, and it had like bags and stuff on it and an S4 kit, and really, really wanted it. And then we had literally come back from racism, and Lipo was like, "Do you want to buy it?" And I ended up selling my old B5 to another friend, and bought this off Lipo, and then had it for like nearly 3 years. So
What actually survived from it then?
in fairness,
Wait. Yeah, you have to explain. So, what happened after you crashed it? What was the next?
so after I crashed, I went into like a deep depression, and I bought a Passat, which didn't lock. I don't know
The
why.
one that caused all
Yeah,
the
the one, I
damage.
was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll buy a Passat.
It survived.
Yeah,
I'll take
I'll
one.
need that. Don't even know why I bought it. I remember picking it up and then driving to my mum's for dinner, and then got out of it, and it didn't lock, and I was like, step one, great car. So then took it up to Pete, and he was like, yeah, it's sweet, like. And then I was just like, no, this is terrible. And then I sold it like 2 days later, and then I bought a Saab, which
Clearly
Sorry.
still not thinking
I
straight
actually-
here at this point.
I actually forgot that you bought the Saab.
yeah, like again, I was sort of. It's been insane. I like bamboozled myself into buying the Saab and was like, yeah, this is sweet. And then it was like, it's a Saab, and got a load of abuse for it, which is the amount of people that were like, whenever the B5 crashed, they're like, oh, I'm really sorry, blah blah, and which was actually really nice. I actually really appreciated that. I didn't expect it, but then as soon as I bought a Saab, people were like, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? You're such a terrible person. I was like, whoa, guys. But so bought it and then sold it, and then I bought my old B5 back that I had sold originally off my friend. So this is like, I got another one back, and then was like, okay, this is it.
So this is the one you have at the minute.
No.
Oh my!
So
Even I
This
am.
is the edition one.
this is
Bought
the
back.
edition one. I
Oh.
bought the edition one back, and I'm pretty sure that it hadn't been washed from edition. Like it was really
Sticky
surreal.
from Champagne.
Yeah, the
Try
guy.
naming these cars.
Well,
This one's mud.
This is mud.
Oh, this is how you got Mud.
This is mud. This is
Oh no, you transferred the Mud plate, didn't you?
no. So mud was the
Alright,
original
I'm just
one.
confusing this.
Then
now.
I bought the other one off Lipo, and it was B5 Sir. It got the B5 Sir
Sir.
plate on it, and then I bought mud back, and like the guy I bought it off, I don't think he like changed it, and it was really surreal. I was like getting into my own car, like after like 3 years, it was like it even smelled the same. I was like, this is really strange. But so sold it again and bought another one last week.
And this one is going to be
this is the one you
resurrected.
bought last
This
week,
this
right,
is
okay.
my current one.
It's going to be resurrected too.
Which will have all the stuff from B5 Sir. I've been doing that the last couple of days, taking the interior and the bumpers and stuff will go on it, and then the
Did you-
air.
Did they survive?
I think so. I mean,
We'll see.
we'll see.
I didn't catch that.
All right.
Say that again.
Alexa's
No.
talking to us here. I've got a photo here of the B5 then, so
Yeah, that
well,
that
people
was
watching this will,
that
will
was
see
the
it.
crash. Like,
But yeah, it's pretty bad. Like that's the back passenger side door is
Yeah.
absolutely annihilated. So and then there's like no wheel.
yeah, the wheel was
That was
the
bad.
wheel was just hard Brexit. See you later.
And
But,
the wheel end. Yeah, there's a photo where the wheel ended up as well.
Oh yeah, the behind the lamppost. Yeah,
Sneaky.
I didn't know
bugger.
where I went. I was like looking about the place. Like,
You're like, I need to
where-
get those wheels back. I can sell them.
And then I did. Big C has them like.
But
But
it's-
no, they were actually, in fairness, like I got them checked and balanced, and like they were sweet. I was expecting them to be wrecked, but
Yeah.
because I wouldn't have sold them if they were wrecked, but they were 100%, and he bought them.
And then
Always trust Tom getting sales.
there's a photo of the new one you have now.
Mm-hmm.
So you like B5s basically.
There's a certain they hold a certain value to me.
Can we talk maybe a bit about the Worthesea trip? You just came to Worthesea with us.
Well,
No, you didn't.
we-
Pete did.
Pete did the
Yeah.
first year he went.
Obviously, I knew Pete did, but for some reason I thought you did there for a second.
Was
'cause
so
the
we-
bi-
Who's
the-
Pete?
the-
Who's what?
Who's Pete?
Who's Pete? Pete's the guy who paints my cars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
we.
no, but I was thinking the year when Pete was with us and he just kept talking about B5s, so he also likes B5s.
There is like we had a group whenever I think the Well, the group's still there, but it was the B5 Owners Appreciation Society, and it was me, Pete, and Lipo. Because we all had one at one point. 'Cause he had his S4, and Lipo had one of them, and yeah, so there's like a weird obsession with them in our group. Because like whenever I bought this new car, the guy was like, "No, you take care of her," and I was like, "Don't worry, this is going to probably the best place it can do."
They do have a certain je ne sais quoi about them, like.
They're great, absolutely fantastic. They're a future classic.
They are a future
Future classic.
I can already be a future classic.
I put that in the ad.
I know.
And the guy's like, "How can it be a future classic?" And I changed it. It's like, "It will be."
That is one thing you don't think about whenever you are building your car, and everyone's car that they love is actually crashing it, and
Yeah,
what comes with that, like after you've
yeah,
put all
like
your heart and soul into it.
well, it's I sort of totaled everything up in like what I put into the car, including buying it, and for a daily, it was actually quite scary. Like it had loads of work done to it. Like so I redid like the head gasket and all went in it, and I was like, right, I'll fix it, and then hybrid it, injectors, all the air, because it was like second hand when I got it. I also more or less rebuilt most of the air, and like it's
Had the US bit lid and
well, no, it came with the US bootlet and stuff on it, like so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like put loads of money into it. You're just sort of standing looking
Yeah.
at it with your car with no wheel, and you're just like,
I know, Jesus Christ. 1 minute you're driving to work and you're like in
Yeah.
your car, and the next second it's gone.
it's gone. 6 weeks
Right.
off work, and then you buy a Saab.
you know it's all gone wrong.
That is how you know it's gone wrong.
It
like.
is.
Well, you could have bought an Alpha, I suppose.
An
Like Lewis.
Alpha. Well, it's understandable. Lewis owns an Alpha. Owned an Alpha. Like
B5 is much more respectable than your other
So-
usual what I associate you with.
yeah, I've had some pretty stupid cars like in my younger years. Like the MX-5 probably was one of them. Like
Yeah.
with the spoiler on it, which
Yeah, we need a photo of that for people to understand.
Right, okay, I gotta put that up. But yeah, tell us a bit about the MX-5, because I reckon a lot of people, even if they didn't know you, may have seen the photo of that thing in traffic. Because did that not go around?
it was on.
Some Americans
It was
got
on
really
an
annoying.
American site like Farm Truck, which is like a drag thing in America, and they posted it on their wall, and like it got so much abuse, and like
I wonder why. I wonder why.
I mean, it was done initially as a joke. I was like, I'll put a big spoiler on it, and then I remember we built it. I got a guy to make the legs for it, and was like, yeah, I want them as big as possible. And he goes, how big? And I was like, I don't know, how big is the metal that you can get for this? And he made it. And then I was like bolting these, like they were pretty sturdy, bolting them to the boot of an MX-5. And if you know MX-5s, they are like built like a 20-pound
Yeah,
like
yes.
so I was like tightening it, and everyone was bending it in, and I was like, oh yeah, this is mint. And then we ended up putting like, it was done in Guy, another one of our mates, was done in his driveway, and put a spice rack in it out of his garage. So it was like the brace it inside. We're like, we should probably brace this, and we're like, Guy, what have you got lying about? He goes, I have this spice rack. And we were like, yeah man, that'll do. It's that spice rack. So yeah, like, oh fuck, there's just been so much stupid shit. Like I suppose when you really do think about it, yeah. So I put the spoiler
Explain
on.
how the hell you brace it with a spice rack for a start, please.
Why do you
Like-
not?
It was like the leg of the spice rack had like holes in it, so I like put it in the inside of the boot. And,
So it's
like,
inside the boot?
inside the boot,
Right,
yeah,
okay.
express
I
it
don't know
to
why
stop
I've
the
never seen
boot
this.
collapsing, because people were like, well, if you drive this at any speed, is the boot gonna rip off? And it was pretty ropey at like 80, like it did feel weak, because it was all aerodynamically tested, like
Yeah,
Oh, was it?
it was
Straight to the wind tunnel.
it was fully legit. Like I say the legs on them, I don't know what metal they were, but they were heavy. And then I ended up selling
I don't know what metal.
the spoiler to a guy as well with the boot lid, so he ended up with Guy's dad's spice rack in the boot lid.
So
Unknowingly.
Unknowingly.
somebody actually chose to buy this.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah,
quite a-
that looks good. I'll take one of them.
yeah.
And quite nice MX-5 bought it, didn't it? It was your man.
It was your man Johnny, yeah, he put it on, and I was just like, it lived, and then someone
And then
else
he added more to it.
he added more. He added the side bits to it, and like it just progressed. It was like this,
When is this? When like what year?
shit.
Was,
This would have been like
What cars are you looking at?
Are you
Old
on my-
Lexus, you need to go back.
I'm
You need
on
to go back.
his Instagram here. He likes to repost his previous cars.
once you hit like the gold Lexus, it's the EG, and then
Yeah,
after
but
the EG,
is it after
He
the
was
EG?
kinda
yeah,
Yeah,
it was before the EG.
Oh, it was before the EG.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
okay.
before. It was after the Polo.
That's what the issue was.
And again, the reason why I bought an MX-5 was Libo.
He was a fan of an
He
MX-5.
was a man that shares a passion for B5s and MX-5s. It must be the 5 line. I don't know.
Oh, shit, here we go. I've got it. So,
It was hilarious. Like I can't.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Jesus Christ.
So much-
Also, Tom's wheels that you used on every single car that you owned
Oh, yeah.
are
So the wheels I bought for the Polo, and then they fitted the Polo, the MX-5, and the EG. So the universal multi-fit wheels, like,
it is here. You know what? It's,
and the wheels still live on. They're still going. So then the mate, and he's got them on Volvo, I think. No,
I
Alright.
think without the spoiler, the car is actually theirs is just being casually recovered.
that's whenever you're under the port.
yeah,
It's just actually, it's actually
it was actually hilarious. Like it was great when you like took the hardtop off and had the roof down because it just it did look ridiculous. But
Do you remember the sun strip that you had on it and the peeler pulled you over and he was just like,
it's just
there you go, like.
oh, there,
It's
that the ILB sunstrip that
Yeah.
every time I make one, you shout at me because everybody's like, "Do you do sunstrips?" And you're like, "No."
Well,
But
we do sunstrips.
well, they
right?
do. Yes, they do sunstrips now. But
Nice
that,
plug. This podcast is brought to you by ILB Drivers Club.
but every time I
Practice
did one previous to that, Adam would be like, "Stop doing this," because then people mail the site and they're like, "Where did these sunstrips come from?" It's just like, no. I
Well,
just-
it's also because you make the most ridiculous sunstrips. Like they're always like the whole
Huge.
way down your
Yeah.
window.
well, that one was good because it had cutouts, and that was it was going. I was like Dubshed one
I
year.
like that one.
I was going to, and police officer pulled me over and he goes, "That sunstrip's too big," and I was like, "But it isn't." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I have a cutout so I can see through them," and he was like, "Nah, I don't believe you." So this guy was like, probably about 6 foot plus, and like in the full get up, and I made him get into this MX-5, and like he like folded himself in, and I was just looking at him like, "Ooh, okay, fair enough." And he goes, "You just got me in here to make me look like a dickhead, didn't you?" And I was like, "No, but now you've done it, I do." But yeah, he was actually dead on because he saw through the sunstrip and went, "All right, okay, fair enough." But then he did me for no front plate.
There's a photo, by the way, of the legs of the.
Jesus.
Is that on my Instagram?
No, this is just somebody else's. Yes, it's on your Instagram.
I didn't even know I put that up. They are, yeah, they are.
They're flipping massive.
There.
Like you've got the this like the normal ones beside it. And
Yeah.
when I say normal ones, I mean like aftermarket kind of like
Probably
MX-5 ones.
the normal size ones. I remember I bought that spoiler off some boy in like an estate, and he was like, "What are you putting it on?" I was like, "An MX-5," and he goes, "Oh, sweet, that'll look great." And I was like, "No, but wait till you see this." And then I showed him what I was going to do it, and he goes, yeah, it looks all right then." But he had like a CRX and stuff, and it was lime green with like a 90s body kit on it, and I was like, "Yeah, okay."
Did you take the spoiler off at Castlewellan?
No, so what I could do was I had two boot lids. So, because Castlewellan had the limbo, so I was like, right, I
Car
need,
limbo, yeah.
need the spoiler off, like, so I would just change the boot lid,
Right, okay. And then you won that as well.
and then I won that, yeah.
So you can be high or low.
Yeah, a bit of both, like,
Tom Candy's life.
a complete mess.
Right, okay. So that's the MX-5. The EG Civic there is also very nice.
Yeah, it was cool. It was just another like random purchase. No, actually, well, what it was, I bought like a Clio
Oh, fuck.
because the MX-5, someone crashed into me. That was like my first crash.
Yeah, I remember that.
I ended up, I was supposed to be on the ILF base night out, and I ended up in a car crash. Yeah, I couldn't go because I was like, they properly like head stretchered me off because like some boy in a Jeep just drove clean into the side of it in an MX-5, and I was like, "Oh, this is not good." So I ended up, that was the first crash, and then yeah, so then I bought a Clio. It was like a 172 that Pete actually used to own like years ago. So like, it's weird.
Buying things off Pete's great idea.
I was just about to say, like, our friend group, we just seem to like own cars that each other's own, like, and they're all great. If you ever get a chance to buy one off us, do it. They are good motors.
Oh,
Please.
Pete's offering the beer man here
Um,
to be the beer man. There's the EG Civic there for people at home.
yes, there's the EG. It was pretty cool. Again, I put my
Well, it's
splits on
cool.
it.
It was
I
cool whenever it was all vinyled up, like a...
Yeah, then we got Andy at Blackwater to do the like the graphics on them, the liveries and stuff.
What's
It-
later
the
on.
word? What's the word I'm looking for here?
Kanjo?
Kanju.
The Kanjo graphics?
I liked your Boo You Horde sticker at the back.
You're always a fan of a statement.
Well, I think it's the whole point about modifying cars, like, you know, because it was the car that like,
Is to put Boo You Horror on the back.
yeah, well, I suppose you modify a car like for attention, so like,
Oh, I like it.
Just to annoy people.
just to annoy people. I mean, it was an EG Civic with a B16 in it, so it was just like,
Anyway.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Just bring it in. Thank you, beer man.
thank you, beer man.
That's not really great, Pete, to be honest.
What? Sorry, just to completely go off topic. Where's this? Sawyer is your middle name.
No. Here, before you get comfortable, can I have a bolt owner, please?
I have one in my pocket.
Oh wait, no, we're right.
Oh no, I don't.
No, he doesn't. Have you a lighter?
Wow.
It's there. Look, see that wallet that's on that shelf or on the
Look at
bench
this
behind
high
you?
quality podcast.
This is what happens. We don't have any crew
Wallet,
together
wallet.
today on
It's
the
a
podcast.
it's a bit rustic this one.
There's
James
a,
and I
there's a
If you
card
can
in the
find me
back
a
of it.
lighter or something.
And we also set up the audio. So if the audio starts crap, nobody's monitoring it. Very sorry about that. If we're not in the camera, if the camera stops, sorry about that. But you know what I mean? There's only James and I working in the office at the minute because coronavirus.
They won't.
It's just what it is.
I got you.
I feel like I'm just keeping the podcast going here while these two idiots trying to open a beer.
Here, well, I opened mine. We're not all drinking water.
Yeah, I'm driving. So
No. See, I thought they were
Drinking.
twist tops,
Never
but they're not anymore.
I don't know what you mean.
I tried to twist it.
That's not how this podcast works.
I don't have any beer with me. So
I offered you a beer. You didn't want a Miller. Like.
you're drinking. Yeah, normally we talk about beers. So okay, here we go. James, what are you drinking?
Oh, surprise, surprise. It's Guinness.
Fuck's sake. But Tom's actually got a complete curveball in here today. He's drinking
Miller, genuine draft.
it's cat piss. It's terrible.
It's not cat piss. Like
It's
there
like
are.
something you drink when you're 16 and you steal from your dad. Who beats
I
his
don't know.
wife.
I just like. I always thought I like the label and stuff on it. It just always appealed to me.
It is very American like.
Turn it around, let me
It is pure America. Like.
but no offense to Americans, but most of our beers are shite as well. Like Budweiser, shite.
Yeah. Okay. Bud
Bud
Light.
Light,
Terrible.
shite.
Well, if you drink Bud Light and they're like, yeah, I did a whole packet of Bud Light, and you're like, well, yeah. You know, it's like 4% across the
Yeah.
whole thing.
We went to America one time and they were like, "You're drinking Heineken?" You're like,
Yeah.
Actually amazed that we drank Heineken, by the way. Like they were like, whoa, it's such a like
Like a strong beer.
strong beer. Like it was frozen, do you remember? I was
"Oh, here, fuck yeah."
it was
Remember
like, they have like all beer on frozen tops because obviously, you know, it's America.
Oh, yeah, chill. Everything's like.
but it was like a
over the
frozen
top.
top, like
600 TVs around you in the bar.
Yeah, it's like in Northern Ireland. They pretend they have
Mad.
like a harp ice cold, but it's just the way the top looks. But it's actually like lukewarm room temperature, and you're like, oh, look at that pint of harp. Like,
did the beer actually come out a wee bit frozen as well? Like
Yeah, there's chunks of ice in it.
chunks of ice, yeah. It was nice.
frozen beer is gross though.
Oh, all right.
Well, it's like
I often make my Guinness in the lollipops.
Hopefully you're not giving them out to kids, James.
Only the hard looking ones.
the ones with skinheads.
Yeah, similar socks.
No, I don't know. I think like my dad always drank it in the house, and it's just been one of those things. I know. Well, now you've said it
Just
was
to offend the whole family there.
the whole family. Like, well, yeah, I don't know. It's just always been what I've drank.
Moving on.
Yeah, we'll just stop talking about that.
There's a
like.
nice
Just see it
photo,
off
by
and
the
get
way,
rid of it.
Of us with
See it off and get rid of it.
HRV,
The Herb.
the TT, and the EG.
That was good. That was a great
Best-
photo.
Best car
It
I
gets
owned.
reposted often
There's
because.
one photo I like more than that. I like the one where a Players Classic with the van and all stunting in it. That's a good photo.
Oh
like.
yeah,
It would be better if we were all in it though. Like it would have been.
that trip. The
I'll
Players
get that photo
Classic
as well.
Was great on everyone's car. So like,
You just keep saying this about the E28, but the E28 survived no problem.
yeah, but it was already broke. It
Well-
just overheated.
Oh, yeah.
All the lights stopped working, and then I
the
just,
lights were not working when I set off.
Okay, fair enough. So I just remember following you, like we were getting really close to where we were staying, and you were like, "Right, we're nearly
got
there,
dark, it
boys."
got dark.
It got real dark, and you like absolutely pinned off, and all I could see was this like tiny red, like the dimmest light you've ever seen. And I was like, "Wow, that's his tail light." Like,
Well, what happened basically is I threw something into the boot before we went, or like days before we went, and it unplugged one of the sides of the lights because I didn't have a carpet on the back of the car. Because when it got painted, somebody just didn't put the screws back in. Don't know who that would be.
the guy I use is very thorough.
Anyway, and so I didn't even check I didn't check my brake lights before I set off to the other side of England, and basically I had no brake light. But then, funny enough, on the way back, I must have done the same thing on the other side and didn't have any brake lights.
Yeah,
And when I
you-
got to London, the taxi driver rolled up beside me and was like, "All right, mate, call sick, but you don't have any brake lights."
Yeah, it just slowly disintegrated though. Great car.
But what happened to yours on the way there or the way back?
Well, the way there was fine. Yeah, no, the way there was alright. It was on the way back. It was after Pete's M3. He was when we were sort of on the way to Holyhead for the boat, and then I was driving behind him.
I was sitting in said car and we were just cruising along. Everything was fine, and all of a sudden, just
Yeah, and I was behind, and all I could see was like all this dust and like shit flying off the front of it. I was like, oh my god, what is happening here? Like, what is going on? Next minute, like basically half of Pete's splitter, like the whole bumper, basically, like it was like loads of his car. It was like so much of it, like I couldn't avoid it. It like hit the front of my car and completely wrecked it. So then I had to paint it again.
This was the B.
Did I not? Oh, you never pay? I thought you said I never pay for it. No, you never paid it. No, that's all right. It doesn't matter now. This was B5, so yeah, it took. And then I don't know why. Oh, like every time I turned left, my washer fluid went like light kept going on. I was like, no, I can't do this. I need to sort this. So we pulled over and I got.
So you just kept turning right?
It's okay on roundabouts, which is fine, but not ideal because you do need to turn off at some point. But yes, and pulled in the petrol station, whipped out the 2-litre bottle Evian, was like, right, wee bit of fancy screen wash here, like, and then realised that like there was no coolant in it, and I was like, ooh, that's not good. So then topped her up and then drove to the boat and checked it at the boat, and it was empty again. I was like, wow, this is really not looking good for this car. Like, so yeah, then eventually, like, I think it was like 4 months later, decided, yeah, I'll have to do the head gasket. So I did the head gasket. Pete's car broke the splitter, and Adam's car just stopped working. So
I did overheat, and my window fell off the runner.
it did.
And
But
it got really cold when we got off the boat, and I had to drive home. And the sunroof wouldn't
drove
close
home,
as well.
Yeah, you drove home from like Dublin with the window open. I
And the
just
sunroof open.
remember like Amy sitting, like we drove past, and she was so pissed off, like because she was like in the seat like this, just like.
But you know the funny thing about the sunroof was I was scared to break it. It did close. I just had to turn it one more turn. And it just felt, you know, when it feels, you're like,
And you're like,
it's either break or close. And I was like, when I got home, I was like, fuck it, well, I'm here now. If it breaks, it breaks. Just close.
I was in the van. It was fantastic.
You were just cruising
Yeah.
past everyone laughing at us as we were all in like these broken cars, like. But yeah, no, like. Other than that, I really enjoyed that Players show. It was a great one.
Yeah, I'll definitely miss Paris Classic this year. But they are, I just
They
seen
have
that
a
they have
provision-
cancelled, but they've got a provisional
They were
date,
provisional
yeah.
date, yeah.
But
So
they're not going to announce it just in case.
I didn't want to get people's hopes up. This is the thing. People keep going, yeah, we're like postponing
Yeah.
it or cancelling it. Everyone's like, oh yeah, and then they cancel it, and then it just disappoints everyone. So it's probably one of the best ways to do it, like because
Well, right now I can't see any of these car shows happening, to be honest, until
there'd be too many people that can't like control that. It's like when they're trying to like open pubs and they're saying like you have to sit at your table and like you're having 3 pint max, and like you're not allowed to. Yeah, like they're like putting a limit, like
Maybe it's £3 max.
well,
Who said this?
They're talking about it like how they'll reopen pubs and stuff. And you try and imagine like controlling people like who haven't been to a pub.
They should
all-
give you a time limit.
Yeah,
and
and
then we'll
like
see
you're
how
not
many
allowed
can see them all.
to. It's like you're not allowed to stand up, and it's like nah,
Everyone would
that's
just
fine.
stand there like,
You imagine like going out for like 3 pints, being like, that's it, lads.
I know it's just have them. Did you see Northern Ireland completely off? By the way, it's kind of on topic for the podcast, but completely off topic of what we're talking about. Did you see Northern Ireland though announced that they were they've got like some sort of plan to bring back I don't know, everything. You know what I mean? Like
Everything.
it's, you know, like the lockdown.
Oh, the steps
What's it called? Like the lockdown kind of
reopening.
Reopening. Right, we'll
the
go with that.
grand reopening.
Anyway, and
Of
they
life.
they randomly had in the lockdown plan on this date we're allowing cinemas like drive-in
the
cinema,
drive-throughs?
drive-through
It's like,
cinemas,
yeah, all
and
the
I was
drive-throughs
just
in
kind of
Northern
like,
Ireland.
well, don't think there's any drive-through cinemas in Northern Ireland, and I kind of seen it. I was like, that's kind of funny. Literally that night, I seen 3 advertised on Instagram.
Because they were like, now's our time, advertising, boys.
Like, they're like, let's do it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
business-
we've
that's a business
we've
idea.
never been requested before ever, but now is the time to advertise the cinema.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do like for a business proposal job thing. Was it?
We're good. We're good.
I don't know which one that is.
We're pretty good at describing things today.
It's all just very rustic, this whole podcast. But yeah, like a drive-through cinema
Rustic.
with like a donut shop or like fast food, like stuff in America, like
Yeah.
that. But we just don't have the weather here for it. But it would be pretty cool.
Get a big tarp.
You
You just
buy-
aren't thinking about this hard enough.
but then you may as well just go into a cinema.
True. But you wouldn't be in your car.
I don't think. Well, like, you couldn't drive it. Well, I suppose you could.
Well, in England, they're allowed cinemas, not the ones you drive in, obviously, to sell booze, but you can't even flip in.
yeah, that's
sell
mad.
booze
You
there.
go to England. They're like, "Do you want a beer with your popcorn?" And you're
That's
like,
not mad. That's normal. It's like
I know, and you're
you
like,
sit down
hold
for
on a
2
second,
hours. You
you're-
may as well have a few swallows.
I know.
And it's
then
like
get into the
here
car.
they're like, no, boys will get rowdy.
in fairness, so it's the
It's
same as
true,
car
like-
shows here. Like they can't do drinking at car shows here.
Well, we did it.
You did it, and it was policed very well, but you had like pretty burly doormen. Like, it was pretty intense. I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. But there was that other one in that car park.
Oh my
Is
god.
that the one where someone flipped
Car
their car?
Culture Live.
Car Culture Live. Was it someone got hit with a car?
That's fucked.
Oh, they flipped the car, and like, no, that was the one at the airport.
Yeah, it was in Newton.
No, it was the one in the multi-story car park where they had like the drifting in it.
Okay,
And like they were like, yeah.
Is that Car Culture as well, or is that someone else?
I can't remember who that was, but that was in.
He's
It was something.
right. So there was two. So there's one in Newton Ards.
the one in
which is
Newton Arts on the
airfield.
airstrip was like it
was
was
camping, that
It was
was
a
the issue.
destruction derby, like.
Everyone's day, get wrecked, camp at a flipping airfield with your car,
Yeah.
a runway.
In Newton Arts.
What's going to happen?
Well, like a Saxo went on its roof.
Was it not like somebody getting like absolutely railed on a bonnet and all like that?
It was. It was just. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, some of you traded at it. We were at an English show, and then I think Ben and a couple other people traded at it only on the Sunday. So we did have somebody training one day, but
We missed all the crack.
did not piss down like it
Yeah.
started raining like mad.
I only turned up one of the days, and it was like just carnage, and
Yeah.
it was like.
There's,
And
like,
people were like, "Do you want to camp?" And I was like, "No, I live 5 minutes from this place. I am not camping in an airfield."
Aye. But there's boys like getting caught doing gear and all, like literally in the middle of the car show, and you're just like, what? The
Yeah,
hell's
it was
going
pretty
on?
insane. Well, it was almost like the one that was up. Where was that other one? Where Pete got the S4, but he had to wait like 2 hours for all the awards because they were like best Astra
They did
H.
that was Car Culture as well.
There's another car
somewhere.
culture. That was hilarious. Like I just remember sitting in Pete's car in
Was
a
this for the
monsoon.
awards then,
It
just?
was the awards, and the S4 for awards. That was one of the shows that was good crack though because we all went to it and then
Was this at an airfield as well?
Yeah.
that was the
Did the Volvo not win something? I'm definitely sure I like won
Yeah.
Swedish or something.
so, like
I'm
they,
pretty sure it was best
like
Swedish.
what?
Like,
How many Swedish cars were there? Like
they
after
had
that?
like awards for everything. It was like best shoes. And like
Did that blue MX-5 not win?
Bluebird?
Oh god, I don't know what he was just always he just won everything. Like and his car was such a shed. It was like James's though.
I
but,
can't
like,
believe
with
we don't
chrome
have
on it.
another microphone, by the way, for Pete. I kind of feel bad. If we had another microphone, Pete would be in the podcast, but we don't have another
We'll
microphone.
get a fourth one, and then for the next one, we'll just
Pete can just chirp in and we'll
He's
just repeat
chime
anything he
in.
says.
Yeah. But that was
But yeah, Bluebird won.
Bluebird won, and I just remember sitting in Pete's car, and like it rained really badly, and he was like, "I was something to do with the windows in your S4 that didn't work, so we had the door open, and like all the rain was coming in, and it was just like, oh, this is so grim." And then on the way home, I decided to do a burnout and pop the tire off the bead
I remember this.
in Londonderry, and got soaked trying to change it, and ended up driving home my boxers to Ballymena, and my mate brought me wheels up because I had to drive in a Space Saver, and it was awful.
There you go. Yeah, it rained so much as well. We didn't sell anything. Sure, we had everything packed on top of the tables, and
That's
we all
right.
just tried to survive the flood rather than actually sell anything at the stand.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about before the car show? I've completely went my mind blank there.
Corona.
All I can remember
Huh?
is B5s. So
Well, we did B5s.
We've
touched on
your
B5s.
cars, basically.
Going
Was there
through
any
the cars,
other
yeah.
cars that you've?
Well, we did the Polo, and we did the MX-5 that
DG?
came out.
We were talking about DJ.
Taken with the EG.
The Lexus, I suppose you had the gold Lexus.
The gold Lexus, the Jewish Racing Gold Lexus, which came after the EG. It was, yeah, I always wanted one. I worked in Lexus and was like, yeah, I love these things. These are sick. Bought one, and it was like, it was alright. I thought it was cool, and then I built this blue one. I was like, well, that gold one was a piece of shit.
Can, can, can we highlight your career path of... You obviously are very into cars.
Oh, we're going to swap onto his career. You know,
Well, you just mentioned
Alright,
that
okay, yeah.
you worked in Lexus at the time.
Yeah, I
I
was
mean,
working
you
at
were-
Lexus at the time. But before that, I worked in BMW, and that's one of the notes I actually have is when Adam used to bring his E90, E92 in,
One.
E91 in, and like they were like, "What is this thing?" And I was like, "Don't worry, I'll work on it." And everyone in Bavarian was just like, "What is this?" like Aaron, all they're like, "I don't understand. Why does it do that?" And you're like, "Oh,
Matte Black,
Matte Black,
E91.
roof box and all." I just remember taking it out on a test drive and was like, yeah, Adam, what air settings do you have us on? You're like, just click. It was like V2. You're like, click button 1. That's my drive height. And I was like, sweet. And it was like 26 psi in all the bags. I was like, whoa.
I think drove really low though. Like
It was sick,
I
like-
could drive it solo. Like
It was cool. Like,
yeah, we drove really well. Well, not really well. Just drove really low.
it was cool. Like,
But so you were in BM.
MBM, like, started my apprenticeship there. Worked there for like 7 years, and then moved to Lexus. Did Lexus for like a year-ish, and then decided like, fuck working on cars, because
Well,
that's...
you also BM was a heated garage, and then you went to Lexus.
Oh,
which was
man.
like it wasn't a heated garage.
like,
Surely there was nothing to fix in Lexus, you know.
oh well, that in
Yeah.
fairness, like, I went to Lexus and was like, nothing goes wrong with these things. Like, it was hilarious. They were, like, cars.
Is that
were
where
com-
your love of Lexus was
that,
born?
like, genuinely, people were like, what car would you buy? I was like, Lexus, nothing goes wrong with them. They're like basically oil changes. That was it. That's what I did for a year, and I was just like, no, I can't do this. So decided to like
so you decided.
I decided to sack the cars off, because I was like, as well, see if like I always found like working on cars and then like trying to fix your own car afterwards, I was just like, nah, I really cannot be arsed to do this. Like, so kind of lost a wee bit of passion for doing stuff, like, and then went.
Which is understandable if you're doing it every single day. Every single day you come in,
Yeah.
and then you have to like go home, and then that's meant to be your hobby as well.
Yeah, it does.
It can become a little bit tiresome, you know.
I just
absolutely.
it just kind of killed it for me, and it was like I was getting like other people to like I was getting my mate Corral to like fix my car, and he
Aye.
was just like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, I just don't want to do it." Like, he still does it
No,
for
I,
me.
I
Like,
can appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think it's the same when, you know, sometimes with ILB, if we've been working on like corporate jobs or something all day, and you're like, right, it's time to do an ILB job, you're like, "Ah,"
yeah, it can't be our
even though you really want to or something, you're like, "Ah,"
Yeah.
but it's just you don't have the same motivation that you used to. Which, lucky enough, is kind of flipped for us, because now we can do ILB flat out. But yeah, no corporate jobs at the minute.
That's
But
not bad.
so Lexus, left Lexus, which was, sorry, I did mention it was you always, I just remember always remember you telling me it was not a heated garage. You're working basically outside.
like the heater, and one of the heaters, like, they had like the big heaters along the roof, and one of them was like over the strip where the door opened, and I was like, this is like the most pointless thing I've seen in my life. Like, because BM had it over every bay, so like you're working on the car under the bonnet. It was actually really warm. Like in winter, you're working a t-shirt inside,
Yeah.
which was actually really decent. And then I went to Lexus, and it was just like, what is this absolute clown show, like? And like, I just, oh man, I know you said about like, you know, don't hold back and stuff, but like, there's so much I could say about that place. It just like was amazing. Like, for a proper like branded garage, I was like, this is insane how bad it is. Like,
This is the Belfast dealership. Yeah.
I mean, we'll not talk about. We'll not say
What's the
specifics.
address?
Well, no. It was another one. It's not operational anymore. But yeah, so then was like, nah,
For rats.
yeah, just closed down for being a complete absolute
Shit show.
shit show. Basically, like, it's like a circus with like concrete.
And then you
floors.
actually went to a shit show then. Hey.
Hey,
Excuse the
good.
pun.
That was a good like feed into it. But yeah, so basically wanted out of it and was like applying for jobs on Indeed jobs. I was like, I need to get out of this, like, and then this company, like, they rang me back like a month later, and they were like,
Hold on, what was the advert for?
it was
What do you mean?
so like I just literally went into Indeed jobs and was like, technician, because that's what I can do. Typed it in, load came up. I applied for everything. Like, I applied for like ambulance technician, not realizing that you needed to be a fully blown paramedic. And I was like, yeah, it's not gonna work. I applied for like so much shit, like, and then like they asked for your qualifications, and they're like, nah, you just don't meet the criteria, like, and you're like, oh, understandable. Just trying to get
To
out.
be fair, I am not a paramedic.
Yeah, I was like, I can drive it, but like if it comes to actually like, you know, helping people, I'll be like, oh.
Just getting shot down left, right, and center. Like.
But it was understandable because I was just applying for all sorts, like. But yeah, and then applied for this company. It was like surgical equipment technician or something, and I was just like, all right, this sounds interesting. Fired the CV into it. Was like, didn't need to do it, and you just hit the button and Indeed, and it's like, apply with CV, and you're like, done, easy. So then, yeah, like a month later, they rang me and were like, hi, you want to come in for an interview? And I was like, who is this?
Really?
I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, it's like cardiac services company I work for. And so I went in for an interview, and was sort of like the night before I was at my dad's for dinner, and I was like, what do these people do? Like, fully researching the company and like their history and all. I was like, oh, right, okay, this is a pretty legit operation. Like, so went into the interview, and like one of my initial reasons for like wanting to leave Charleshurst as well was working on Boucher Road, because like I've worked there like 10 years of my life,
Right. Okay.
and that's where my car
Busy.
crash happened.
It's very, very busy.
It's literally one of the worst. Like if you live in
The car
Northern
crash
Ireland,
not happened though after you moved there to the new job.
yeah, well, like let's just say I've been there 10
Oh,
years. I
okay.
can't get off the place. Like, so I was like, right, I want to get off Boucher Road, because like if you live in Northern Ireland, every night at like 6 o'clock, it's like, and the Boucher Road is backed up the whole way, and you're like, yep, traffic news always.
Yeah.
So I went in the interview, did the interview, and was like, right, okay, it seems pretty decent. I was like, so like, do you work in house, or is this in the hospitals? And they're like, no, we're all in house here in Boucher Road. And I was like, I don't know. Like, ended up taking the job, and that, you know, as I say, that worked well.
You
'cause-
enjoying it though?
yeah, man, it's good. Like,
Let me clarify what
Right,
the job is.
all right, what the job-
explain what it
We've
is.
circled it. So like, I fix surgical cameras now.
Surgical
No,
cameras.
explain what it is.
Okay, so but what I really do is fit butt scope.
Yes.
Butt scope
So
guy.
like, I said this once as a joke, is
The
what I
shit
do,
show.
and everyone's like, "Oh, you fix butt scopes now?" And like, yeah.
Hold on a second. Is that? I thought that is all you do.
No, well, they do butt and throat, like, and
All right, so-
and it's like
Hopefully not with the same camera.
no, there's sometimes it depends. If they can't get the butt one in you, they will put the throat one in you because it's thinner.
So there
Like-
are different cameras.
There are like there's different.
Oh, they put the throat camera in your butt?
Yeah, because if you're like if you're like tensing it up, like they just can't get it. Yeah, they're like, right, well, let's get a wee thinner one up there.
Is
But-
it? Tell me this. You know the way, like when you're in the military and stuff, you see this and you're like, right, boys, here's your taser. But you know, to be able to use the taser, you have to get shot by the taser. Is it the same sort of thing?
No, we don't.
Right,
get,
Tom, to be
we,
able to-
we
You
don't
ever
get
get bored?
we don't get to test drive them, like, but well,
Pete just said Tom does homers. If you can hear that.
we don't
Do
take
you
our, we, no,
actually?
we don't take our work home with us, like, but although like if I was going to be getting one of the procedures done, I would like mint up a scope and bring it with me and be like, I am bringing, you see this one, use it on me. But like basically any hole they can find, they'll put a camera in, and sometimes they make holes.
Can you put them in ears?
No, not so much ears, but like they can do like your throat.
They
Your,
do have like mad attachments, don't they?
there's like
you can-
ones with like lasers on them and stuff, like for like cutting stuff. And
Holy shit.
like, let's say I've like obviously been a mechanic for so many years, and then went to like the medical industry, and then they're talking about this stuff. They're like, yeah, there's this stuff like that can like cut you, but at the same time like it cauterizes you. And I'm like, what's that? And they're like, yeah, it's called Thunderbeat. And I'm like, sick name. But yeah, no, like, so I fix surgical cameras now.
If you're listening to this, Tom's sitting here with a mullet, stretched ears, covered in tattoos, drove a slammed LS, and if you get a camera up your butt, he's the one that fixed it.
But here,
Makes
they're
sense.
more acceptive of that than you
True.
would, than
You really like the place, though. It's good.
like
yeah.
Well, like when I worked in like BM and stuff, they were quite critical of like my tattoos and my stretchers and stuff, which is like,
Bastards.
you're a mechanic and you're like, you know, what are you doing? I'm fixing cars. Like
I saw you're not even public facing.
it was so surreal. But then went to this place and like they were dead on with tattoos. Although when I did my interview, I wore like a long sleeve jumper and didn't have a hand tattoo. And then the first day when I went in, like took my jumper off and they're all like, yo, what? And I was just like, oh yeah, I've got tattoos. And they were like, they didn't care, like, but it was just really funny because the interview, they were like, I took like piercings and stuff out, and they were like, what is going on here? And I'm like, all right.
Got him.
But yeah, like I said to them about doing a hand
Trick,
tattoo,
yeah.
and they were like, yeah, whatever. So like they're a pretty cool company to work for, like, and with all this like COVID stuff, we're like flat out at the minute as well.
So you're not working from home then?
No, we are not working from home. We're still
You
still.
can't take
You're
your
the
butt
essential?
scope
I
home.
am the essential.
Nice.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so we're
You're helping the cause.
helping.
People still need their butt looked into.
Not so much as now they're not doing as much surgeries, but we're just still fixing the scopes.
How, like, how did they break?
Shit.
I don't know. Question
Well,
to
you
start.
fix them like how?
Well, like I like you, but it's a bit worrying how they break sometimes. Like you're kind of like some arrive into you and you're going, that's been inside someone, and you're going, whew.
Are they clean before they get to you?
They are cleaned
No.
in the hospital, and then we clean them in our work. We have a decon machine.
Decon, like?
Decon them.
Fair enough.
So yeah, but then say we got one in the other day,
Oh no.
and the hospital emailed us and they're like, yeah, this has been used on a.
Watch out for that butt scope.
They're like, yeah, be careful with this butt scope. It's been used on a patient with COVID. So everyone was like, oh fuck, and like absolutely running about the place. So like like proper PPE and all. It's a bit mad. Like.
Proper people.
But whenever there's a bit of shit on it, you're not really about the PPE.
Before he's coming, I set of gloves on. You just,
using teeth and all the
you're just didn't like it. They were told you don't like it, you'll be fine. But no, it's like definitely don't like it and wear a face mask.
You're still like, oh, I want to like.
I was like, oh no.
What else is on your list of the topics you want to talk about? You made a list. We didn't.
I did make a list
We're
because
very bad at it. What is wrong with us? Like, why are we terrible at podcasting?
Well, I think it's gone pretty well.
Oh, well, it is a bit like. Do you have a list?
it's all been
No,
improvised.
no.
Like I was like to Sandy. I was like, there's some stuff to chat about. It's just sort of like my memories with I love bass and stuff like.
What's that?
Well, like, so I've got down here the first.
ILB
show-
Drivers Club.
ILB Drivers.
Oh, sorry. Yes, we've changed the name now.
Changed it to 3 years ago, Tom.
I know, like, I know. Never forget.
Lewis in the office always calls it I Love Bass, and I'm like, all right, well, fair enough. Like, it is.
You
what-
just
what's
don't
called
send them out
for
to
so
jobs.
long.
It's like, hi, I work for I Love Bass. And they're like, who? And you're like, oh, don't send them out. But yeah, no, like, I've got stuff like the first English show I went to, you guys, was Players Classic, and we went in your 3 Series. Like, this was before you got
Do
the
you remember
van.
that? That was
And
good.
like,
that
you
thing
used-
was a van.
Yeah, I was like now you have the van. It's like,
How did you get all that
do
shit
all
in
this? Like, and like we've talked about it before, but like, how did like obviously we didn't put the sofa and stuff on it, like, but
Yeah. But we also, I really do think we have some weird thing about us where, like, because when we used to have the 335 day, we used to bring everything we had in stock because we didn't have that much stock. But now we have the van, we still bring like almost all of our stock, and I just don't even understand why we bother. Like, it's like we bring like
you literally
hundreds and hundreds of
pack the
t-shirts.
office
Like,
into it, like-
what are we expecting like there to be? Like,
yeah. Well, like, you
What
know, in fairness, like there is shows where it is really busy, like, and
I know,
there's
but
not always
honestly,
something.
like, we literally bring hundreds of t-shirts, hundreds and hundreds of t-shirts. Like, like enough for everybody at the car show. Like,
just in case.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
yeah,
Clothe
so-
everyone like
But yeah, the 335 day was good. Which show did we go to? Was it?
that was Players Classic. It
Players
was like
Classic.
me.
We met up with Johnny, and then Johnny. I remember
Yeah.
there's definitely a scene in one of the vlogs where you're like, what's that noise? And then you look under and you're like, oh, it's your neons. And then he just rips them off with his hand and it like hits you and you're like, oh, fuck.
That was. I don't remember that. Like
It was pissing down with rain.
It was
Yeah,
really
it was like there was
badly,
floods
like-
and shit.
Yeah, when we drove past your boys like an MG or something, it was like underwater, and we were like, oh,
It's like a monsoon going
yeah,
on. That.
it was really bad. Like, and what was like me, you, and Sean. Sean was at that one.
Yeah,
we were
Sean.
packed into the back of it. Like,
R.I.P. to Sean.
R.I.P. to Sean. Like, the original, the
We rang
OG
him once on
shop
the
member.
podcast.
He's got a podcast feature coming up, I reckon. Like
Guest appearance, like.
people keep commenting, going, "Where's the wee tiny guy gone?"
Yeah,
I'm-
like
where's the wee
I
short
miss
man?
Sean. Like, he was good crack. Like, he was an absolute gentleman on the shop. Like, he was just like, you want to buy that? Oh, you want to buy that? It's just, yeah, no worries.
It's good lad. Like.
He's good lad. Like,
we
that
just saw a
was
compliment, Sean.
good lad.
Sean,
Well done,
great guy,
Sean.
great guy.
If you're listening, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, you're doing all right, boy. That was good. Like, that was when we did like a high speed tour of London. Like, we had like a couple of hours left, and we're like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll like drive around London, and like literally, it was like as if someone compressed all of London into one drive, and we just did everything at like 70.
Was it a Sunday though, or was
I think so.
Do you remember that hotel complained about us? What the fuck were we doing in our hotel room?
Was that not, we were absolutely steaming. Like,
We had absolutely wrecked place or something, and reception rang up, and they were like,
the-
"What the fuck
the
are
boy
you
turned
doing?"
up at the
Where's
door.
this,
The
at
boy
Players
turned up at the
Classic?
door and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boy turned up the door, and we were just like,
was I there?
yeah, you were absolutely wrecked. I think I have a
That's
photo on
probably
my
I don't
phone,
remember.
and like,
We had flipped the beds or something.
yeah, like
It was just
properly trash space. That was yeah, that was good fun.
Do you
Like,
remember the year in Players Essex when we just like had like we weren't allowed to eat our pizzas at the bar or something, so we like ate in the room, and then we just kept getting like all our beers back to the room, but never bringing back our pints, and we had literally like 50 glasses.
yeah,
I still
vaguely.
have like 20 of them in my house. Like,
pint glasses, I think like bars just give you them. They're like coasters. They're
They
like,
come
eh,
with the beer. Like.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you order a cup of coffee, like, you know, with the paper cup.
that's
the same
it.
as-
You-
it's
yeah,
kinda-
you own it. Like, I think it's yours. I think like if anybody can turn around and say no, I don't have a pint glass in my house, I think it's a lie. Like, they have stolen from a bar, like, because
What do you mean still?
well, okay, not stolen, like procured, just like happened to bring it with you. But yeah, like done that. That was, I remember actually in London, we were going into that underground car park, and you were like, "Yeah, watch me in here. I've just got these rotiforms in the car." Like,
That was the tightest car park.
it wasn't, because like. It was like the side you were looking out, and everyone was looking out every window. I was like, "Oh, what's in Wales? What's in Wales?" And then it was like your side, you curbed it, and then looked at the passenger side, and there was so much room. And we were like, "How have you done this?" And then-
Was it not the back though?
Yeah, it was like-
I was looking at the front.
It was like
didn't
the
look at
back right. It was like Sean's window. So he's a good guy, but he missed that line.
Thanks for
Man,
defending
put it
that.
past him.
Yeah, but yeah, that was like one of the first shows I did in England, and that was actually a really good crack. I really enjoyed it.
We are good fun.
They were good fun. I do enjoy the English trips, like
Yes. Love your times.
Yeah, we're great crack.
the best of times.
R.I.P. Carter.
What do you reckon? When will they be back next year?
Who knows? Next
know.
year, probably.
Next year.
Well, I don't know. The ones in October, probably, like, or September. September, sorry, not October. I think, is racism not in September now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the end of September, isn't
It's
it?
whether you want
Old
to
race?
when you want to go on a plane, like.
True.
Because they're all like, "No, it's sweet. We'll space you out, like, but you're still breathing in people's recycled farts and stuff." Like.
Did you see that flight from Belfast going to London? It
It
was,
was
like,
packed out. Like there was boys standing in the aisle and all, like, like the London Tube hanging on, just like,
It's just kind of like, how can they be so, like,
like
strict over absolutely everything?
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Planes.
straight. Like it's like you want to go see your mum and sit in her garden. No, you can't do that. But you can get a plane to London, and then
But-
they're like,
Now they let you go view houses. So if you list your house for sale and invite your parents around to come view it,
You're allowed to do that? Here or in England?
well, probably in England.
Aye.
"That's a
Because
really
Northern
really-
Ireland's kept our lockdown running here for
another 3 weeks."
another
If
3
you know
weeks.
us, we're hard.
We
That's
may
it.
go to, they said part 1 next week though. Whatever that is. Step 1, sorry, not part
Step one. Yeah, like
I
they
hope
haven't
so.
put dates on. They've just put steps.
I bought a motorcycle, like to ride it.
Here, James bought a motorbike.
One thing about Tom Candy, very good salesman. If you ever need to sell a car, Tom Candy.
Right, tell us the story. What happened?
Bought a terrible Volvo off Pete. I'm only joking.
again.
So I bought a really nice Volvo off Pete, right?
Turned out to be terrible.
It was.
It turned out
It was a bit of a sieve, like.
to need a wee bit more work than it. That's that. Of course with it. Bought the Volvo. Drove
You
it.
love the Volvo, like.
I absolutely.
The Volvo was
The
cool.
Volvo-
I
I
adored
remember-
the Volvo.
I remember driving past you, and you had the full family and
I had Claire in the back.
You
I had
had
my niece.
the heap
In
and
that
it-
death trap.
Exactly.
and like AA badges in the front of it, and like it was hilarious to see. And you were just like, "Oh, what's
It was
up?"
amazing. I absolutely loved it. And
It
I
was
had
cool.
I had plans for it, and then
But how did you buy it though? Well, we've talked about how you bought it
Yeah,
as well.
I
In the
think it's
other,
been
yeah,
mentioned.
but-
yeah, I got drunk.
Oh well. That's
Let
how
me
you
guess what
sell
you're
it.
drinking. Guinness.
Mm.
What?
A selection of IPAs.
Nice. Oh.
So
In Bangor?
pardon?
Were you in North Down?
I was in North
that's
Carolina.
Bangor
Must
by the
explain
sea.
it.
Yes. So anyway, I bought the Volvo. I drove it about for a while. Needed MOT. Took it to our good mechanic, Carlisle. Put it up in the ramp and then began the welding work. Welded the front of it. Went around to the back and it needed.
Did they do the front? Did they?
Yeah, we started on it. I started fixing it and did the front.
progress.
This was a 1989
Yeah, it was. It was 89. Yeah.
240 Volvo, and
Hear
it had 386,000
Here
miles
comes the
on it.
moon statistic.
It had been to the moon and was halfway back.
Whoa, here,
And-
right enough.
Right enough.
I don't know. I've heard that statistic again.
Yeah,
What?
Pretty good.
It's his favorite statistic about
I like
Volvo.
that.
I always Google it.
I should have put that in the ad when I sold it.
You should have. Well, it didn't need it.
Didn't.
But anyway, chucked out the ramp, and it needed a lot more welding than I was willing to put into it. So contacted Tom Kennedy Sales,
TKS Motors.
TKS Motors. Put it up on Facebook, and it was gone within
It was gone in the day.
the day. Like.
Posted
Gone
it.
within a few hours.
Yeah, I
really?
posted it in the morning, and it was gone that afternoon. Hit her up with a power hose, and that was
You
it.
washed it all for him?
Well,
I'm
when
sure
I
the
say
cut-
when
I'm
I
sure
say
the cut he
washed
gave
it,
you was nice.
no, it was just did it for the pleasure, like. No, like you don't wash them, like you just power hose them, and then you post photos when they're
Yeah.
still wet, like, like boys are like,
Mint.
oh, she's mint. Then they come up and look at it, and they're like, is this the same car? And you're like, yep. Yeah, no,
Did the guy come and see it and all when you were there?
yeah, I sold it that day.
I love why James didn't even go.
Well, it's
I also managed to buy a motorbike without going to see it.
that's the best. Huh?
It is.
Well, that's the best.
is the best way to
That's
do
how
it.
the rich
One
people
thing
do it.
Tom
They get other
loves
people to
doing
do it. I do
Selling
enjoy.
cars.
It's not even the
Do you
selling
like
cars.
selling cars or any like kind of like stuff?
Literally, I'll sell anything because do you know why?
I have a set of 4 wheels.
You send me your wheels, I'll sell them because I love dealing with people on Facebook.
Really?
Marketplace. Like, see, like all our chats are like all these people that like. It's just like completely.
You sell them for me, no problem. I've got photos of them and all.
Yeah,
Take them with
that's
you today.
Stick them on your back. Right?
Stick them on my back. I'm gonna lift him. No, yeah, I'll sell them for you if you want. Like,
Brilliant.
that's like people like who don't want to like sell stuff. They're like, "Will you sell this for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, no sweat, give me." And then literally like, I don't know, people. It's just people on Facebook Marketplace like just are idiots, and I enjoy talking to them like because like it really brings out the real intellects.
Tom was like, "Yo, I'll sell your car for you," and I was like, "Sweet." So he put it on Facebook, and then he rang me. This is probably
Did you tell him how much you wanted it for it?
mid afternoon. No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I said a grand,
Yeah.
and then
Did you say don't take it less than anything or?
no. So like this is what I mean. It was about 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and he rang me, and he was just like, "Yo, there's a guy up here looking to buy your Volvo. He's offering you 800 quid. Would you take it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, get it going."
You
So
got a gun?
sold that for 800 quid, and then I was like, "Pete,
The other friend.
I know.
the
Just
man that
sitting in his
sold me the
house and he's
Volvo."
just like one text.
Buy
to
me
the other,
another
he's just
lemon.
like,
Pete was just standing by that phone like waiting for it to ring.
it's coming. Like,
Pete, I need a motorbike here. So we discussed our options and then sourced a nice little cafe racer, we Honda. And yeah, give Pete the money. Pete went and picked it up in his van.
Did you even touch the £800?
Oh, I brought it. I passed it through me. And
Oh, so you did
he
actually. have to-
middlemaned his own money.
yeah.
It went from me to him to Pete.
I originally asked Pete to sell it so that I would never get the money. So that then, you know, I'd be like,
Yeah,
But then Pete was like, I can't be arsed selling this. And I was like, I'm your guy.
that's hilarious.
there we go. And I got a motorbike.
Here, I've got a set of seats, 2 front seats at E28. If you want to sell them as well.
Oh, wow, give me all your shit. I'll sell it. Like, I will. I just love posting it. Like, what? I've lost. So actually, like last week, sold like what 4 cars? 4. Yeah,
In one day?
no, 3 cars in one day, and I sold the B5.
Why don't you
before.
start buying and selling?
I just love butt scopes.
Yeah, it's
Well, like,
it's
obviously
more
you
of
do it on
a,
the
it's like
side,
it's
like, he
more of a
doesn't-
hobby. Like I
Well,
don't know.
Scopes is his main profession.
It is. Well, sure. Like, well, that IS like literally was trying to sell an X5 for a fella, and some boys drove from Letterkenny to see it and didn't like it, and they're like, I don't know. And then when he was turning in the yard, there was an IS 200 which
Right.
Louis had bought, and they were like, "What's up with that IS?" And I was like, "I don't know." Ended up selling a car, wasn't even advertised, and they took it home, and that's the way you want to sell them. Like,
What else is on your list so I can ask you it without you having to like tell me what you want me to talk about?
I have the first time I sort of saw your Volvo in Bangor car park when you put the rotiforms on it, and I was like, "Oh, like fuck."
Yeah, that was good that night.
It was sick because it had all the camera in the rear of it and the wheels looked unreal, and I was like, "This thing is sick."
I rocked up. I was like, I was well pleased about
It was
rocking up.
cool. Like, I did enjoy it, and then
That's the one car that I think I like really, really, really liked more than all the other cars. Or something.
I-
don't know why. Like even more than the
'Cause it was,
355D,
like-
different.
I don't know whether it was just because Ziggy lowered it and then you were like, I bought the wheels, but it was just because the wheels were like the right color and like it just looked unreal. Like,
I
and
can't.
because it was no one had really done it either.
Yeah. Well, right enough. Like so many people when I go to Russia and stuff. I think we've already started. Have we just continued the podcast here? Like with James gone at the toilet. Who cares? Big C will make it work.
I was
Wow.
Just
We're
chop
sorry.
in,
We're just
like-
talking about the Volvo, but the Volvo, yeah. It's people when I go to Russia. When we went to Russia, like the first year, like this guy who had modified his Russia, is modified his Russia, modified his Volvo C30. Literally came up to me and was he actually kissed me.
He did kiss him.
On
That
the
happened.
lips?
I was like,
Yeah.
Adam.
on the lips.
I don't
Or on
know.
the
I
hand,
don't
on
remember.
the cheek?
No, like on the cheek. I don't know if it was.
It was
trying-
on the lips.
I think he was trying for the lips, like.
We-
Just say on the lips.
Did you? He went in and you just
And he was
side
just
checked him like.
You're the reason I modify my C30.
That's pretty sick though. Like,
And if you search like C30, like Lord or something in Google, you will. Mine is like one of the only ones that kind of
I
comes up, which is kind of.
say I had my Polo possibly at that point, and like I just remember you drove in, and I was like, "What is this? This is sick."
Do we know each other then?
No, didn't know each other. Like, this was even before I'd met the guys at UCS Lauren. This was literally like one of the first times like I had seen, like obviously I'd seen your stuff on like you know, Facebook and whatever you posted it on, and then was like, yeah, those guys are pretty sick, like, and then saw the Volvo and was like, that is unreal. And because it was like it was before even really like rotiforms and stuff were big, and like
Well, I definitely had. I think I had the first set in Ireland.
I think that was
anyway.
that was probably one of the reasons why it was quite big. But I just remember it was like Sunday night in Bangor car park, and I just drove in and I was like, yeah, that is sick. Like, and then we went to the show down south, and you were driving it as well. Pete had his
Yeah, the cars and coffee thing, and then we went somewhere else.
Cool spot.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Actually, I only. You know what's really funny is that I don't have any real good photos of the C30, and then I found that photo the other day. I reactivated my Facebook account. And
I have a roller from my car of you driving past me now.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Because I went through stages of how high I had it because I don't know why. But when it was really low, it was like the best, and all the other photos seemed to be before that. And yeah, there's a really good photo of it without its front bumper on it. I used to love, and it just looks so mean.
There's
no
some like,
lights, no front bumper.
no front bumpers, and all look sick. They do look cool, like.
But there you go. Like the C30 is probably one of the ones I kind of actually looking back was like, yeah, I really like that car, even though it was dead.
It was sick though.
It was cool, like because it was sort of like. This was like the early days of like before like it kicked off really in Northern Ireland. Like people hadn't really gone into like rotiforms and like properly stancing cars. Like there was like Toner and stuff was doing it. And there was very like the first sort of years at Dubshed was when they started coming in. And I just remember seeing it and was like, that is like, because it was like something you would have seen like, you know, from America or in England. You were like, holy fuck, that's pretty sick.
Do you like it? Yeah, it's nice. Missed that one. Like we were talking about your bike, weren't we? We were like just having a conversation there, but we'll probably keep that in. But what were we talking about the bike? So Pete, where was the last bit of this story here? Where were we?
He given the money to Pete. Pete had bought the bike.
I give the money to Pete, and then
Sourced the bike.
Pete sourced the bike, picked it up for me,
Yeah.
and then just arrived back with.
This is last week, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
last
only
week.
Last week. What is the bike? Tell us about the bike.
It is a CG125. It's my first bike, so you know,
I know nothing about
starting off small. Yeah, it's like a complete cafe racer, custom built. It's candy red. That's pretty much all I know about it. Like,
have you posted on your Instagram yet?
No. I've actually only seen it once in person. So.
Airdrop me a photo too. Here.
I know.
Pete will know more about it than I do. So. Pete's rode it more than me.
It is very, very nice.
Wrote it here.
He wrote it down.
Hey
today. I
guys.
was like, I brought my bike.
Because you have to take him home. What was you take him home on the back?
Should have brought your. If you hadn't started stripping the black one, like me and you could have gone home in the back of that thing. Like.
I said to Pete that he could ride it whenever he wants. Are you Adam McPeak or are you?
Airdrop it to. Yeah, go for it.
It is very cool. Like.
Oh, there it is.
Go. Airdropped it to the iPad. We're trying a new thing, so if you are watching this, you will. I'm gonna get some images on your screen. Hopefully, you enjoy them.
Let's see what happens.
So this is what I've,
iCloud Photos has not been updated in 105 days. Don't care. Looks good there.
this is well, it looks good from every angle, to be honest.
Big talk.
This is what I've bought. Got my CBT next Saturday. This is the first step on the ladder, and then I've went for a full course, and I'm gonna do my test.
So, I'm really bad at knowing what does this bike originally look like. So.
Oh wait, I'll airdrop you.
Oh.
I actually have a photo of it because I was interested myself.
They're like absolute donkeys standing there, aren't they? Like.
See, I put my right hand up and be like, I know nothing about bikes at all.
See, so my dad, all my life has had motorcycles. He's been on his bike since. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Motorcycles, and my dad all his life has drank Miller.
There it is. Is this the exact bike or is this?
Yeah, that's it. No, that's not the one, but that is.
What does she look like before spinning around there?
Ooh,
Them
It
graphics
looks actually a bit more like a scrambler, doesn't it?
no.
looks like a fucking Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, that's what we got.
I have
Um,
speed.
It's pointing in the wrong direction.
Ka-chow. Ka-chow.
Yeah, so we had bikes all his life, and I was like, it's now that I've got rid of the Volvo, which was my plan for a stancy car, because, you know,
Yeah.
I do not drive a stancy car.
I do not drive.
He drives the complete opposite.
I drive a agricultural vehicle. So yeah, I wanted to replace it with something cool. So I thought motorbike was now the time to do it. So it's a.
And what did your dad say whenever? Because you said your dad's like bikes.
So my dad is quite a diehard. Whenever I said to my dad that I had bought a motorbike, he was just like, "Well, on one condition, you don't drive it like I drive bikes." So He said that it looked quite gay. He was like- it's very pretty, but he doesn't see the purpose in like the vintage sort of style. You know, the way like that's obviously it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all about.
Riding.
He just
Yeah, of
wants to
course.
go out and go fast. So
The tires look a bit skinny. Normally they're on like scramblers. Tires are big, thick ones, don't they, in this style? Or
no,
when you sent me that originally, I actually didn't think it was modified. That's how little I know about motorbikes.
it is like completely custom, like every single bit of
You
it.
can see
But
that now, yeah.
yeah, so yeah, like literally like
It's crazy.
It is
the
a very
whole
cool
thing is
background.
completely custom. So, but yeah, it is only a 125. But you know, start small and we'll work our way up.
Looks good, like doesn't need to go good.
That's it.
What?
Does it go alright, Pete? Pete says he
What?
Peach,
Well,
Peach
I
wrote it.
suppose-
I only wrote it around the yard, like.
Yeah. Collie backy, like. Of
Did you pick it up in the van, Pete?
course he did.
Yeah.
The van of many.
I didn't. I didn't even think that Pete was going to come show me it. But being the good lad that he was, drove all the way to Ards, picked it up, and then drove all the way back.
He's a good lad.
He's good lad.
He also picked up my E28 in Bristol.
Yeah, I was discussing with Pete the other day that the only car that I didn't buy without Pete was the MX-5, and I bought that with Tom.
I have that on my list actually. That's one of the things
I was there too, wasn't
Yeah, we all turned
Yeah,
up.
I? We all
he did buy the MX-5 off me, so
we
Yeah.
bought it off you. That's great. Fair enough.
What was it? What did we turn up? We turned up to get the MX-5 and like my MX-5. Didn't
Yeah.
we? And like the guy that was selling it, his son
kid.
was like,
yeah, son loved ILB.
yeah.
so.
And then
I loved the way Jim turned up with a full laptop. There was somebody turned up with a laptop to transfer the money.
I turned up with a laptop to transfer
I
the
did
money.
the bank transfer.
Get it in the
Hold on a
driveway,
second.
like.
full laptop, like.
Out of the
transfer-
briefcase and all, like padlocked his hand. He was like, "Let me get the codes here." Like,
How did you get the internet?
I think I tethered her.
we
There's no way you can tether back then. If you bring in a laptop,
This
about,
wasn't
surely
that
you just
long
use your
ago
phone.
either. This wasn't like the 90s.
I don't know. Why did I bring the laptop?
I don't know why you got the laptop.
I just have a vision in my head of him sitting on the driveway.
Yeah, I remember doing it.
On the
That's how it
ground
went,
with a
like.
laptop out.
Yeah, I remember you cracked the laptop out.
Man of business, all right.
What is this guy on? Like?
I've never bought a car before. Do I have to bring my laptop? Oh,
Well-
Jesus. Normally people bring money.
No. Really,
Not me.
What did you pay?
Could have just swapped it for the laptop. To be fair, probably would have been a better deal on his behalf.
Is that what you're
wow.
trying to do? Oh, Jesus. Did you not send like a photo to the kid or to him, like once you slammed it? It was like,
Yeah, because he wanted to see all the progress on it, and that quickly stopped. MX-5s weren't for me.
You loved it,
MX-5s
wasn't it?
were for you. Like,
Yeah, you
it's
loved
such a
the
cool
MX-5,
wee car.
like-
Like,
I
you
did.
just had that. Like,
I liked-
never got rid of it.
The problem with the MX-5 was I liked driving it, but I never liked how it looked. It was too soft. It was too round, and I like hard, boxy,
Oh.
Volvo-based
Yeah,
lines.
in
Like,
fairness, you
Fair
had an
enough.
MX-5 and then you had like a Volvo, and it's like
and the Hilux,
it
like
up,
they're
open
all
it
just like
Dove bar of
square
soap
looking
and in a
things.
house,
Like.
like.
Fair enough. Yeah, yeah. The Volvo. I always liked the Volvo beside the E28. You see, that's why
Yeah,
I
it was good
devastated
combo,
about
like.
it, like it was.
Yeah,
To be
it
fair,
was-
I
it
was
was a cool lineup,
devastated.
like.
So
I actually was sad when you were selling it because I was like, "Doesn't put your money into it." Like,
yeah.
but I mean,
It's cool.
it's not like you've just taken the money and wasted it. Your bike's pretty
Yeah.
sick. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
so.
probably one of the best things you could have bought.
And it's
with it,
probably
like.
not going to lose any money
Yeah.
or much money.
Well,
Says the guy who knows
nah,
absolutely
yeah,
fuck all about motorbikes.
Well, that's right. I just said the same, like, yeah.
yeah, like something like that'll always have value, like because it's.
Well, that thing's hardly going to drop. Like, if it drops much, you're not going to
Yeah.
lose hardly anything.
It is
Like,
cool
it
as
can't-
well,
it
like-
can't really drop that much, surely.
Sure, if you don't want to,
Yeah,
yeah.
like it's already, it's a decent price for what it is.
Plus, then if you don't want to sell it, you just stick her in the living room because she's a
That's
nice,
it,
she's a
exactly.
nice wee thing to look at, like.
Well, Pete apparently isn't going to let me sell them. I just have to acquire a new one whenever I want them.
Oh well, it'll end up in his workshop. It just won't leave his workshop, like. Yeah, like
James is giving to everyone the kind of like the itch to get one as well, because obviously Pete already. Well, Pete is supposed to give everyone an itch. Pete already has one.
no, Pete has several.
Oh, so
Like
Pete,
from like lockdown, Pete has just bought bikes nearly every day, and like it's just like it's
Pete,
hilarious.
Pete had a 6 scooter, and then I was like, Pete,
6 scooter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a Honda
Six
Melody.
scooter.
it is sick.
I think
And then
It's on his Instagram.
I literally messaged Pete going, Pete, let's sell. I'm going to sell my Volvo and I'll buy a bike. So then I did it.
I'll,
I've got a photo of it. Where's this scooter?
yeah.
It's fucking
Do you want a
sick.
photo of him on it?
Oh Jesus! AirDrop it to the iPad. And then so now other people are talking about getting them as well. Like,
Everyone's on it. Like
You have a Grom?
I have. Yeah, I bought.
it's just a random photo there for the podcast. Is Pete on his jet ski?
Pete loves jet skis.
Are you Mr. McPeak?
Nick's so
Yeah.
angry. So yeah.
Yeah. So like. Groms, like we'd always talked about Groms and Ruckuses and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've always sort of seen them like from like the first.
There's Pete on the scooter. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a great photo. Like
I thought the scooter was so much bigger than that.
no, it's tiny. Like literally, whenever we lifted into the van, it was like one of those things. He like lifted it himself and just placed it.
How much was that, Pete? £200. 200 quid. Jesus Christ.
That's ridiculous.
It literally
Sold.
Buy it.
So you have a Grom?
Yeah, I have a Grom. So it was like from seeing like Ruckuses and Groms and like the Canny Bay videos like years ago.
Yeah.
Like
Sure, we had that conversation and you told me how much they were and I was like, I'm in.
yeah,
Where were we? Was it Players Classic?
It was first. Yeah, we all
I
got
would
real hard
see
for
if
it.
you
Like,
that night. If you that night had been like, we're getting them, and I had to give you money there and then, I would have one as well. Like that.
yeah, they are really really.
But
cheap,
then
like.
I realized it didn't really look like a ruckus.
No, the Grom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ruckuses
Groms
so
are
cool,
like they're just like tiny wee bikes, whereas Ruckus is like it's sort of more like a scootery sort of thing. Like,
they're
but
hard to get here. The ruckuses as well. Like, aren't they?
The only time I
they are getting easier. But the reason I bought the Grom, I was going to buy a Ruckus, like, but I bought the Grom because then I would take it to work and stuff. Whereas a Ruckus is sort of more for
Yeah.
like at shows and stuff. But yeah, I bought the Grom. Start of the year, and
Have you got a photo on your Instagram of it?
yeah,
Sure,
I should have a
Right,
photo
I'll get
on
that.
it.
You carry.
I'm buying stretch kit, lowering kit, handlebars and stuff for it, and then I was going to paint it. Was going to get Pete to paint it.
Does
but
Pete
I
know
hear he's
that?
quite thorough.
no,
know
no.
that?
We had talked about this. Like we talked about a color and stuff, but then it actually came and like it's like a really nice flip purpley green color on it, and I was sort of like one of those things like, no, I don't really want to paint it. So the plan is then when you get your CBT, Pete gets his CBT, we're gonna be the
125 gang.
125 gang, and we're gonna rip about in those. So I'll be pretty good. Like I'm pretty hyped for that. Like because I've never had a road bike. We've had like pit bikes and stuff for flying
Yeah,
out on it.
same.
Then was kind of only really bought the Grom to like modify it and stuff, but now I've been riding it. It's good crack, like. So
You rocked up here, and I was like, flipping there. He is.
yeah, it's funny. It is tiny, like, but it's cool, like.
What speed does it get to?
So I got it downhill at like 67, 69, but reckon it's restricted. So
All right.
That's about as fast as I've ever gone on my Hilux.
yeah, without fear of death.
It was like the wheel wobble started.
Yeah, no, like it's not quick, like, but it's cool for sure. Scooter about on, like.
Yeah.
So bought it and get it done whenever, really.
Did you ride that ruckus in Russia?
Did it? Yeah, I did. I think.
I
Yeah.
remember we were in Russia and this guy turned up on a ruckus and like it was his pride and joy. And I've never seen a man so nervous whenever I'm pretty sure someone else suggested that I had to go on it. And then he was kind of
I
like,
don't know. I don't think I did drive it.
yeah, okay. And like before getting on it, he was just like, you can ride a bike, can you?
I
And
don't
like he
think I
looked
did drive it.
so scared. There we go.
He did, but
That's-
then he continued to do a massive.
Yeah,
burnout of it,
he's
like,
but
completely burnt the entire tires off it.
That's all right. Like he can do that. Like
Yeah.
he's okay with it. But it was like, yeah, when your bike was in the yard and people was like, do you want to take a spin there? And I was like, nope, absolutely not.
Should've.
Nice to look at it.
yeah. I just think it's very funny, like going back to when we met you, because like I just don't really remember like when we first met you. Like you were saying, obviously it was the Polo shoot, and then you
Yeah.
also see the Volvo. You seen the Volvo, but
Yeah.
like it, like when was that? How long ago was that?
I don't know, like
7 years, 8 years?
be 8 years or so. Like
Did Clark bring us into the group?
Surely we would have met you like the first dub set or the first or two.
I don't even think so. Like I don't really know. Like the first time I really spoke to anyone was Robbie, and I would have hung out with Robbie like before,
Yeah.
and then
Internet guy.
internet guy, and like he's the one that took photos of my Polo, and then
Right, okay.
from there, I don't really know how it sort of happened. It's just one.
BCS is all that's sticking in my
Yeah,
head whenever
like-
you were sitting in my
I
car.
just think it's crazy that like
You just start talking
you
to
just
people.
forget as well. You're just
Yeah.
like, how do we
And
all know each
now-
other?
Yeah, no, it's like, well, like,
Literally give this guy
being
my car to sell, and then he took the money.
Yeah,
I just
and,
hope
like,
that he
we've been,
transferred
like,
me
well, like,
from nothing.
Gaz's wedding and stuff, like, so we've like done like, you know, stuff that's not in the car scene, like, so
Yeah.
we've done like,
Yeah.
like we're all just mates now. Yeah, so it's like it is pretty cool how it happens, like, because it's say like
And then now we're all equally devastated that we were meant to be staying in an amazing villa in Worthesea right now for 2 weeks.
yeah, it's the fact that you completely conned that poor woman, like.
You know what he told me? She emailed me. She was well. It was actually still quite expensive.
I like the way she
um,
was like, no, it's cool for next year, like let's do it, and you were like, yes, we're on. Yeah, it
Man,
was.
that's amazing. I'm so devastated that like I was just looking forward to getting there and being like in the vlog and being asked, be like, "Lamb, we are home for the next 2 weeks."
Look at this villa
in this
that,
amazing villa.
that we have like scammed off this poor woman. Like, but yeah, no, it was like because obviously I had my car crash and I was just like, right, I am dying for Worthesea here, and then it got cancelled and I was just like, oh man, like, and it's just like 2020, like. It is a write-off. Like, my
2020
car
is
crash was in January.
It's like a leap year.
Since
It doesn't
then.
exist.
Yeah, like, well, whenever people talk about it, I'll be like, nah, never happened. We just went like 2019, 2021.
Yeah.
Write it off. But like, yeah, it is pretty shitty. Like, because Worthesea would have been good with like, what it was us four, and then
Yeah.
Alex was going to join us and stuff like.
No. What else is on your list, Tom?
On the list, I've got Mod Nuts about that
We weren't
fantastic
there, sorry,
that
continue.
fantastic show that you sent me, Jay, and Robbie on, and
Sorry about that.
yeah, it was like, I didn't mind. Like, you asked me to drive
It's
the
a
van.
different type of car show than we're
Yeah,
used to.
like you were
I think
trialing
that's-
it. You'd never done it before, and
Yeah.
you were like, "We need to do it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm like."
I think we briefly spoke about it before in this
Yeah.
or on the vlog or something, but we just got
Right.
dicked over in the.
The actual show was fine. That was your aftermath. That was the issue, wasn't it?
Well, the show, like, as we figured out,
Aftermath?
we got put. Yeah, no, like
Did
the
they
journey
not have
home
a
was.
terrible
Oh,
time?
well, I was thinking no, like the show. I was thinking we got dicked over in the hall just simply because it
Yeah,
was, like,
we got put
in
in
the base hall
in the
It was,
audio
like,
hall,
ridiculously-
and like I just remember like joking about wanting earplugs, and then went to the hotel that night, and they had earplugs in the hotel, and I was like, "Whoa, that was weird." Like, but yeah, like it was grim. Like trying to sell stuff to people, and like you couldn't hear what they're saying. So I have no idea if I gave people the right clothing.
What happened on the way back?
So the way back, we like had like a serious deadline, like to be at the boat. I think we were going. I think originally we were going from Liverpool, and then we asked like the people if we could like shut down the show, and they were like shut down the stand, and they were like no, because we don't want it to be seen for people to leave, which is fair enough. So like we were on like serious case of like, right, get this motherfucker down quick. Like also
Which is very easy whenever it's the cage. And
yeah, so this was the other thing. So you sent like me, Robbie, and Jay off to do it with like laminated instructions, because this was like the second time this thing had been built, and like we had no. Well, I don't think Robbie and Jay built it. I think I had, or they.
Well,
someone-
Robbie has never built anything.
I-
so-
I think Jay had.
Jay built it at Ultimate Dubs.
Yeah.
He
And
built
Dub
it.
Shed. So they've been built twice.
Had it been built twice?
Yeah, because the Dub Shed is straight after Ultimate
That's
Dubs.
right. Yes, can I have a wee refill, please?
I'm alright.
Yeah. So like.
I'm pregnant.
Thank God that's the reason.
I've been like trying to cover this the whole way, like well, no one mentioned the pregnancy. Yeah, like so we went off with like these laminated instructions, 3 of us.
Pete is now showing me a milk carton, which is like, Pete, don't put that back in the fridge. Put
No,
it so-
no, put it
Put
back
it
in.
somewhere so we know to throw it out.
Yeah, that's my milk.
Yeah, James is saving that
That's
for when
James's-
business reopens.
James's personal milk.
It's not cream.
Right, sorry. Mod nuts. All right, we'll wait for the beer to come in. Here comes the beer. Beer guy, straight in. There we go. All right, now let's watch these two open the beers again.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if anybody's seen. Do you know what time code you knocked that beer at, James? You can maybe mention. People can scroll back and watch.
What? I didn't. Down a beer.
I hate the way you pour that beer. It kills me. Absolutely kills me.
Oh yeah, get it all out there, like. I think the next.
It actually
time,
looks.
Great.
it looks like a Coke float.
That's what the widget's for.
The widget.
The widget.
The fucking widget.
Yeah, I watch Shark Tank now on Netflix. You can get something, put a beer in, and it turns your can of beer into like a draft beer, and it tastes like it's draft the way it pours it.
What? So they put like a handle on your beer?
No, you put
Bullshit.
the can in, and then you know why draft beer tastes different than
Yeah.
canned beer.
Yeah.
But it's the
'Cause
same
got
beer.
more
It's the
wind
way
in
it's
it.
it's the way it's poured. So like they pour it with like some sort of like gas. You know what I mean? So
Some
they,
sort of gas or
well,
a
didn't
specific
want to
gas.
say the gas and like
Pure
say what it was.
cocaine.
But this like thing is like 150 pounds. Like put your can in and then you pour a pint and it's like you're having a actual pint. Pete is definitely about to buy one here.
Straight
It's
off
already
Wish.
bought it.
I was like, I need to buy one of these.
£6 on Wish.
Anyway,
But like, no. Before we get into this, like, how does that work? Like, it was.
so it compresses the beer and then
So do you
and
like
fu-
mount it in your house?
You basically have a thing. No, it's just like a kettle. You know what I mean? Just sits there. You
Oh,
plug
just
it in.
sits there. So every time, if you're in the house pounding away on the tins and you're like, oh, just fucking.
Put it in the kettle.
Why don't you just buy a keg from Lidl?
Because it works for every single beer.
Every single beer.
Tins
All right, I need to get this.
or bottles?
Mine's already done.
Shark Tank beer. Oh, beer Blizzard. What's that episode 2? beer top. Yes, we have definitely took a complete turn here,
A
but
bit of a tangent.
you know what? I think it's worth it. I was like on a. There he is, dude.
He loves pizza too.
What? Like, why he's like.
There it is. There,
Oh,
look.
okay. Oh, here, look
so
at the pub one.
You open that up, put your beer in, and then it like puts a big
Carbon.
hose in it or something. And pour your beer, and it tastes just like you're in a pub.
That's what they need. They've brought that out for lockdown.
There's a flipping. Look at that.
Because people are like, can't go to the pub. I'll make my own. Oh, here.
Sonic wave technology.
I just realized it
I-
wasn't screen recording this. Sorry to everyone at home, but you see it now. There you go.
Spinny circle of death.
Physics. Physics. That's what it's called. Clever.
Summarizes-
See what they've done there.
Patented sonic wave technology. Oh, it's far too fast. The fresh taste of draft from any can or bottle. There you go.
Or bottle.
Mhm.
So do you pour it into it?
No, you just put it in, and then the hose goes into it.
And it like.
Yeah. Get it now. Let's have a look. Were you going to get one of these? I think we need. To get
I think
one.
you
We
should.
could put it right there, and then that could be the
Here, does it need to plugged into the mains?
$150.
But no balls.
By two.
This is the American one. Except taking pre-orders at the minute.
Does it need mains electric?
I don't know. Do you know
There is a portable version. I seen that.
No, but I was thinking more for the shows.
Do you know?
I live in my car.
Does it need mains or does it run off?
No,
12
like-
volt.
No, like, because you could bring her to the show, and then when we're at the tent, we'll just start pouring people pints.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm looking at one of them like. Anyway, what were we
Get one
talking about?
bought.
Let me see if we can find one. And,
We were talking about something. That's the point of the podcast.
sorry about that. I just completely cheated.
Mod nuts.
On the way, the way
The
back.
shit fest.
Oh, the shit fest on the way back. Yeah, so it was busy the stand.
So it was my fault completely. I didn't give you enough time to pack up
Well,
and get
no,
to the boat.
well, yeah,
the
it
boat.
was difficult. Like,
Apologies about that.
it was a small man team trying to take down. Usually, when we take down the stand, it's
Wish
like,
£40. Jesus, I keep
Get her
interrupting. I'm really sorry. Carry on.
that's all right. Don't worry about it. Like, it's for a valid reason. Like,
It is.
are we buying one?
Oh, I'll look into it here while you.
I don't know. This is Pete's new venture. Fuck the bikes. That's already a thing. You can't say that. Mod nuts.
Right, Mon.
How did you get home, Tom?
How did we get home? I don't know. No, yeah, left mod nuts and basically had to get a load of people to help us take the stand down, and then me, Robbie, and Jay never really packed the van. Packed it, mint. Then we were going to go to Liverpool. But what was it? The boat got like. Oh no, there was something about if we weren't there for a certain time, we weren't getting on.
They had moved it forward
But was there not
because
a
there was a reason.
weather?
Yeah.
Did
So
they-
they had moved the sailing forward.
They moved the
So it
sail-
was my fault. Yes.
Yeah, they moved the sailing forward. So if we weren't there for a certain time, we weren't getting on to it.
Yeah.
And then we ended up driving. We were going to get the next boat, but then we ended up driving to Scotland.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the time difference
The time
between
difference.
the boats.
So we
Moving
drove
the
to
sail.
Scotland, and then we were checked into like this B&B, which was above a pub in like Stranraer, and literally had just like we were going to stop, but we ended up we kept stopping at different like services to get something to eat, and the time was all of them were closed, so we ended up having like a real shitty sandwich in one service. All right, back in the van, and just pinned it the whole way up to Scotland, and then we're like, right, we're going to send this B&B. Literally, we're going to get a couple of hours sleep, and the place was closed. Said it were open to 1, and we arrived there at like, I think it was like 12:30 maybe, and it was all closed up. But like, They just didn't want to know.
And this is something you don't miss about the car scene, is that?
No, that was true. So then we ended up. He was like, Jay was saying there was like an earlier sailing, so we're like,
Yeah.
right, we'll drive to the boat. So we drove to the port, and they were like, no, not on bank holiday. So we ended up having to like sit in the van for like 6 hours.
God.
It was pretty grim. Like I just remember like everything about that show just went wrong. Like, but I sold a guy. I remember,
Of course you did. Why would you not have sold someone something?
No, so like, because obviously Jay and Robbie were filming because like I can just about film on my phone. Like, so I was like, no, you two should do the filming for the show. I'll man the shot.
Glad you sorted that
Yeah,
out.
we
so
were-
you arranged that. Yeah,
We
yeah.
were gonna draw straws, like, but I was like, no, it's best. it's best we like delegate it. And yeah, like there was a guy I was like saying to Jay, I was like, this guy's no top one, but I can sell him a t-shirt, and I did. I thought that was pretty funny. Like,
Hey, you don't have a t-shirt.
guy, I have the thing for you.
What's in that movie? Is it Leonardo DiCaprio? What's that movie called? I don't know. But he goes, "Sell me this pen." Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street.
And
Yeah.
the guy's like, I have what you need.
That's what you did.
That's what I did. I Wolf of Wall Street at that point. Like, but yeah, Modern Nats was. We'll never do that again. The show's not bad. Like there is a lot of stuff going on in the show. Like
Yeah.
it was. They had like a hall where some boy was just selling like nuts and bolts. Like it was
Did
like
you buy any?
no, didn't have time.
Did you sell money?
We were in Ultimate Dubs this year, and James and I walked around the corner, and we were like looking at the stands and stuff, and there was one selling dust caps, and I needed a set of dust caps, and I was just looking like a normal set, and like we walked over, and they were selling every sporty dust cap you could think of, and we were laughing, like we were almost laughing at them, and then. We were like, oh, that's a good one. Big C appears out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, I just got these here. Pulls them out, 4 amazing dust caps. What's on them, James?
Bullets. They were bullets.
You better not put them in those
We
top
didn't-
fives. Like
We didn't even say anything because we didn't. We were like, oh,
oh, they're class,
we were
man.
What
here.
else did they
I
buy?
just realized.
Oh,
Sorry, Big
shit,
C.
sorry, Big C.
Sorry,
Ah.
Big C.
They're really cool.
Yeah, they
I
look
know.
really good.
They
Yeah,
look
you
good,
sh-
they look
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It was just so
You're
funny. It was
17.
such a good time. We're like, it was
He
such
just
good
lands
time.
around. He's like, bought these, like, unreal. Yeah, would have been good to go to that show.
Absolutely.
He's managed to get a wee bit of show. Like. Should have went.
So we finish up the podcast, I suppose, with a few questions from the fans.
Okay.
We don't have many.
No, I have about
Three.
Because they only posted on Instagram there, like, let's say, an hour ago or something before we started this.
Didn't have time to prepare.
And some of them are pretty crap. Soul Flavors, I'm looking at you. Matt R56 asks, what is your Tesco meal deal?
A Tesco meal deal. Shit. Okay. So, right. Well, it's gonna have to be the like chicken and bacon sandwich.
Absolutely. I would 100% agree.
Always. Probably a prawn cocktail crisp.
Ooh.
No.
Curveball, that.
Prawn cocktail's good. Like
It's not for me.
no, only if they have tato, but they usually don't. Tesco's like tato.
Ooh.
Then
You're sick,
to
man.
wrap it up, like a wee drink. If they do a wee Dr Pepper,
Dr. Pepper, I can get on board. I've actually been drinking Pepsi Max Cherry
unbelievable.
recently. Some job.
Unbelievable. Like,
Some job.
it's all about those cherry flavored drinks.
Mm.
Well, someone actually just asked us ever going to do another local car show meet in NI. We were planning to this year, but this whole thing. So yeah, no, absolutely. I think we'd like to do meets rather than shows. Easier to organize and be decent to kind
Easier
of
to
do
set
one.
up, like.
Easier to set up and decent. I think it's nice to do one here locally. So
That is one thing I do miss.
Yeah.
It's like a car meet.
Yeah.
Like, cause say the BCS we did Wednesday evenings.
yeah,
Like everybody came down and like it was packed.
Yeah.
And like
it was good.
midweek you were like, you know, off work, went up to BCS, seen your mates, and it was good crack. And it's one thing I do miss.
I wouldn't do a weekly one or anything. We
No.
were actually looking at doing just one in Belfast, one in England, one in Belgium, and one in Austria, and then maybe one in Russia when we went there as well. But yeah,
Car mates, like, yeah, they're
next
coming.
year.
Next year.
Definitely.
Let's see what happens. Like, that's it.
Well,
No questions.
there was other questions, but you just talk amongst yourselves.
Just
There, let
close
me
it.
pull them up. How about
Right, see you later.
You drifted your Laurel a couple of times, didn't you?
Hold on.
The Laurel. Yeah,
Yeah, because like I mean, see, you're weird.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Sorry,
yeah,
but,
it
like-
has been said.
Like Adam likes BMWs.
Yes.
I do like BMW.
He does.
Like
There's
hard for
there is
BMW.
a trend there.
James, do your voice. No, the other BMW.
Oh, BMW! Woo, BMW!
That's the other voice, James. Don't be doing
No,
that.
no,
Fuck's sake.
that's not for the podcast.
Sorry.
Oh,
Got confused. Yeah, like Adam likes
James always goes BMW, by the way.
BMWs.
Yes, I do. Here, I like BMWs.
He does.
BMWs,
He
yeah.
does. Yes.
I like to look at them.
It's a BMW.
What?
Likes it.
I've owned one BMW, just can't warm them.
Well, BMW.
Like I love to look at them. Like I own the E38. I own a 7 Series for
7
like
Series. You didn't like the 7
shit,
Series?
yeah. Anyway,
Anyway.
as I was saying,
as we were saying.
Laurel.
So-
I was
No, no,
distracted during this podcast. I'm
Sorry.
just going off on tangents.
what my point was that like you are very hard for BMWs.
Here, I like BMWs.
He does. And like you have quite a mixed sort of Volkswagen to the Jap side, back to Audi, and
Yeah.
then like now you got the Lexus again. Like
Yeah.
you're sort of all over the place in
Yeah, like I've like started off in Volkswagens, was like, oh, Volkswagen till I die, and then as we say with the MX-5, like Lebo picked me up whenever I was drunk. It was like my Christmas do in Bavarian.
Can I
Like,
get a photo of Lipo up so people?
yeah, we need to get a photo
Right,
of
you
Lebo
carry on, I'll get
because he's probably one.
I feel like he's been talked a lot here, and he just hasn't. Nobody knows.
He's
who
the
he is.
cynical
a large
glue.
influence.
Yeah, he's a
in-
huge influence in our group. We call him the cynical glue that holds us together. Like, because
I remember whenever
And he came to Players Classic with us.
he and
last
Brad
year and
Scott
all, like,
had a great
so-
time. Like Lebo's a good lad. Like he works around the corner from you boys.
whenever I had an MX-5, I remember like him teaching me how to drift it, and he was just like, all you need to do is
James.
clutch kick it and man foot it.
Yeah,
Just
like he
hold your foot in the accelerator the entire time,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Lebo.
Doesn't strike me as the sort of lab who put selfies on this Instagram, so I could be scrolling here.
I
for a
can
bit.
send you a photo of him. Like I have some like
Oh,
photos
you
of him
got some selfies.
that he hates, but I like taking photos of him. But no, like Lebo's a good lad. Like he's always like, well, I bought B5s off him, but like he picked me up. It was like my staff do, like years ago, and he picked me up in his MX-5, and I don't know why we then went to Bangor because I live not in Bangor, but he came out and he linked like a flyover over a motorway in his MX-5, like just linked the whole thing like up one slip road over the flyover and linked the whole way down, and I was just sitting in the passenger seat like, oh my fucking god, like steaming. And
I love you, Lipo.
I pretty much. I think like a week later I bought an MX-5. Like I was like, I need one of these. So like,
One of my favorite things about Lebo is like how drifting he looks.
oh yeah, he
but
is.
has had like S15s and S14s.
He's had like
and-
some seriously sick cars, and
Yeah.
like he knows how to pilot. Like,
Yeah.
like I've been in cars with him, and he's just one of these people. He's really unassuming, but like knows how to pilot a car. Like
Yeah.
so, it was actually why I bought the B5 off him, because we got caught in the docks drifting, and he was like probably the most competent person there, and ended up losing his license. And I was in the MX-5 with the spoiler, and I remember like came around the corner and the police were at the end of the road, and I was like, ah, shit. Started turning to like drive
So
off.
were you all drifting at the time?
There was
or-
3 of us down there, yeah, and like we had been and in one area in the docks, like no one about the docks. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Sorry.
What were you
I
saying?
just remember that night that we were drifting around that roundabout at IKEA, and the police showed up, and everyone just
Oh, it was like Fast and Furious. Everyone was like, cops, 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 and just like
I literally just remember I had like shit writ up the whole side of my MX-5 in like crayon, and I just remember driving like the whole way down the motorway and pulling over somewhere and getting some wet grass, just rubbing it off the side of a car, like so that the cops wouldn't know that it was me.
yeah, that was a good night. Like,
Get the wet grass.
So random. I think I scraped the fuck out of it. There must be like stones and mud and all in it. Just
Just like how JP cleans his car then.
yeah, I remember that. Like,
just, send me a photo of
literally, we were all sitting parked up in a line, like to enter the roundabout.
and
We were all taking it on turns, and the cop car pulled in and drove round the roundabout, and then like passed us. And as it passed us, everyone just went, "Fuck!" Just went. So like the car in front of me, I think it might have been you, just pulled off and drove away.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And everyone just gunned it.
just left. Like, yeah,
Hilarious.
that was a good night. I remember that. Like, remember the night we were like I think we were like going for like McDonald's or something down at Conswater, and we did the roundabout at Conswater. Like we just went to turn round it and like ended up just drifting it for ages. And I was like, it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. Just like whatever. Like no, it was good. I enjoyed the MX5.
Lost license.
So yeah, we were
Yeah,
a lot of tangents in
That's
here.
all right,
Like
don't worry about it. I like it.
so yeah, like we were down the docks and it was like 1:00 in the morning. No one about. Did this like it's like a corner we used to go down to, and then went back. And then we came around the corner at the end of it was like just the blue lights, and it was like whoop whoop. We were like, oh fuck.
Harbour Place too
Harbour
as well.
Place,
Not
they
even.
they were like we weren't even driving boats. That's what I don't understand. Like, but like so like Leibo had been like doing an old wheelie skid like a donut.
As he's fond of.
He is. He loves it. Like, and he basically was like, oh, they caught me. Like, was say I saw them and was like trying to I was going to 3-point turn and drive off, but then I was like in the MX5 with a massive spoiler and was like, nah, this is pretty recognizable. Like if I drive off, they'll be like,
It was him.
it was him. Like, so yeah, we ended up, I just stopped and like, I just remember the guy like looking at my car and he goes like, he then ended up searching. He goes, you've anything in the boot? And I was like, no. He goes, can you open it? I
Just a
opened
spice rack.
the spice rack. And he was like, can you open your boot and let me inspect it? So I popped it open and the spoiler was like head height. And like the MX5, the way they do that sort of pop, it clipped his chin. And it was like, and I was just like, oh man, like it was so volley. And like I had like a leopard print steering wheel and like all 4 tires were bogs. Remember I was going around the corner, the sparks coming out, but like spoiler and all, and he just was like, no, that's sweet. And I was like, oh, fuck. But yeah, he ended up losing the license.
Well, why did he let you go? Why did he catch?
Because
were you right
we
beside
were
each
all,
other?
no, he was further on down the road, but they had like CCTV footage of him and got his reg, whereas they just had like our headlights, so they couldn't identify it was us.
Yeah,
Like,
the spoiler wouldn't give
Do you
it
have-
away. Like
Do you have the videos of that corner that you're talking about?
I don't think so. I have any
I
videos
have
of it?
some fucking.
I've like
if Leibo had like bolted, like, do you think he would have got away, or would?
I don't know. Like, I think because they saw him, and like one of the guys that was with us like drove off, drove past the police, and basically the police stopped me and were like, "Do you know him?" And I was like, "No, I've never seen him before in my life. He just happened to be here at the same time." Like, Phil, like,
See you later, Leibo.
yeah, and like we rang the guy and we're like, "Yo, they got your reg and all," and he was like, nah, I wouldn't worry about it. Like, it's too late at night. And we were like, yeah, the police are 24 hours. Like, and then he was like, oh, hold on, my mum's ringing me here. And then like literally the police like had turned up to his house.
Oh really?
Oh yeah,
That's it. Like, I know that's the spot.
That is the spot. Like,
Airdrop it to me, or do you want it on? Or are we allowed to show that? Or
Yeah.
it'd be grand. Like.
airdrop it over.
But yeah, that was a good spot. Like we all went down there. I remember there was one night there was like 8 or 9 of us down. Like there was a whole pile of people. Like.
That's that night that I think that Leibo was telling me how to actually drift it.
Yeah. So like Lee was good lad. Like he's always he's had nice cars and then like but I just keep buying cars off him. So I bought the B5 off him when he lost his
He makes
license.
no shit either. Like when he's talking about stuff, like if he'd be sitting here, but he'd just calling you out on all
Oh,
the
yeah,
bullshit.
like, he'd be
if you had any bullshit, he'd call you out on
He'd
it.
be absolutely great to have in this, like, because he would just like cut through everyone. He's just like, nope. Or else he would just sit in complete silence the whole time and just be like, yep.
Right, so we should probably just finish up here anyway. Thanks for coming on,
Wrap her up.
Tom.
worries.
As we always do, we always finish up with a competition from the previous YouTube video. So if you are listening on Spotify, iTunes, whatever, head on over to our YouTube, search ILB TV, and you could be up for a chance of winning just some random merchandise. Did you send out the stuff today, or is that going out on Monday from the last
It's going
one?
out on Monday.
What are they getting? Do you know yet? No. Did I just speak-
Whatever I fancy.
Whatever you fancy.
Like.
So we just picks a
Could be
random
nothing.
selection of
One
merchandise, mugs, lanyards, whatever.
Done.
And yeah, all you have to do is go to YouTube and find the latest podcast, find this podcast, and leave a comment on it. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you want to hear more of. Give us some feedback. Remember to like the video as well. Give us a review on Spotify. It helps with getting this out there and helps growing our podcast, so it's very much appreciated. And of course, guys, if you do want to support us, you can head to our site and grab some merchandise like we're actually all wearing today. We
Yep.
definitely did that one correctly today. Sometimes
We
I
did.
forget.
I
Yes.
even got the
You got-
t-shirt on.
just
as
in
well,
case
like.
you got-
I actually have the same t-shirt on because it's one of my favorites.
I enjoy this one.
Well, here we actually still have a few limited edition T-shirts available from our 10-year anniversary tee. I think only mediums when this is going out.
From what I can see from here, there's about 6.
Okay,
About
so
6.
we only made 100 of them, so there's only mediums, 6 mediums left. Maybe 4 when we get here, maybe 3. Who knows? But we also restocked the Turbo B T-shirts, so go check them out as well. Which is shop.ilbdriversclub.com. So yeah,
Turbo
we
B
will
stock.
just what?
Turbo B stock.
Turbo B stock. You messaged
I
me
can't
about
believe you
that.
missed that line.
Sorry about that.
That's great. Like I was just
We'll go through here on the random comment picker and pick the winner from last.
I hope it's not offensive
podcast.
towards me, as they tend to be.
why all the offense?
I think it's just love that they don't know how to share properly, so it
Don't know
comes
how to
out. And,
express it. Anger,
yeah.
hatred, jealousy.
First person that won literally said James Preston is shit.
I mean,
We talk about this every single time, right?
and then he ordered something
Only
stupidly.
26 people, only 26 people are bothering to go to the podcast on YouTube and actually comment. So you've got a very high chance of winning.
There's good odds. Like
Higher odds in the cash call, I'll tell you that.
I might enter it.
Get YouTube.
I might enter it.
what's it on?
I'm going to comment on it.
On the podcast?
Yeah.
When are you doing it now?
I'm trying to, yeah.
Hold on.
Let me see where.
On YouTube?
Comment.
I don't know if that one's
James
any good.
Preston.
Oh, was that one not slabbering about me? You just refresh until they are.
Here we go.
Do you want to know about the Sawyer thing? We never really touched on the Sawyer thing. We talked about it, but
The what, sorry?
Sawyer.
The Sawyer. Yeah, go for it.
Oh yeah. Finish. Well, hold on. Let me do this, and then you finish up with that.
Yeah, because
Load comments.
let you know what that's about. Like,
So this is your middle name.
well, it's not even. My middle name is James.
Good name.
It's a good, strong
Randomly pick
name.
winner.
like.
Here we go. Sorry, we're doing 2 things at once here. Jared Barnes. Thanks for keeping up the great content. There you go.
P.S. James is shit.
Well
Jared
done.
Barnes.
Jared.
Email us at I1 at. Is it?
I love best stuff.
I1 at ilovebase.co.uk.
What's our email
Couldn't remember what the
address?
email address was, and we will send you out some free merchandise. And if you want to, head on over to YouTube and leave us a comment on this podcast, and you could win in the next one, which is always drawn at the end of the podcast.
You can also DM us and I'll draw you a picture of whatever you want.
Wow, that's a big saying, actually, James. I hope a lot of people know.
Yeah, I really hope people pick up on that.
Some guy asked me to draw him a picture of Buckfast with legs, so I did.
He's very detailed.
Is
on
this
his
It's
what?
very good.
request.
I actually think I've
where
got
does they
the
do this on the YouTube or?
No, so if you order something on the site and you want a hand drawn
Oh,
picture,
they-
like James will definitely.
I
hook you
will
up.
100% do it.
that's like Domino's delivering it like right to your bedroom. Optional requests.
So what's the crack with the middle name?
Okay, so
your
like
Instagram title says Lord Tom
that's pretty sick. Like
Kennedy Sawyer or Lord
Kennedy Sawyer, I think it is. So like yeah, basically we were making like reservations at a restaurant one time, and they asked for my name, and I said my name was Kennedy Sawyer, and from then it's just kind of stuck.
Right, okay.
That's just how
That it?
that's it. And now
I actually thought it was a good middle name.
it's not a bad name. I don't know why. It's just one of those things that yeah, Kennedy Sawyer, and here we are.
Here we are. And here is the photo of the hand-drawn photo that James hand-drawn
pretty good, look.
fast tonic wine with legs. As requested, here is an original art piece by James Preston. Stay safe. I love James Preston's handwriting. He's like
Is it nice? Like
It's very girly.
he's so
Feminine.
precise.
is it joined?
Signed
No.
John.
John.
All right, so that's it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Tom, for coming for another podcast. It was good fun. We're going to hopefully get these out every 2 weeks. The next one might be on Zoom. I don't know. We're going to see if we can do a couple more with people from across the globe, or maybe people right here. I don't know. We should have had
Do some
people
of
on
our
this one as
office
well.
stand.
We should do
Office
hey,
stand? Office staff.
We've got our more socially distancing setup now
Yeah,
because we moved from the other one.
yeah. It's
So,
not bad. It's easier done. Like.
It's easier done. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and catch you in the next one.
See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.